and we going nowhere. You're some. All the big people. You're some. Some. You're some. All the roadside hustlers. You're some. Tiffy, Uncle Rico. The big C divide us. Tiffy, Uncle Rico. The big C. It's all in the game.
It's all in the game.
Here, there, and
Here,
everywhere.
there, and everywhere.
The people keep on
The
crying.
people just keep on crying.
It's unfair. And we going nowhere. Some. You're some. All the big people. You're some. 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 All the roadside hustlers. Some. Tiffy, Uncle Rico.
The big C divide us.
Tiffy, Uncle Rico.
The big C.
It's all in the game.
It's all in the game.
Here, there, and
Here,
everywhere.
there, and everywhere.
The people keep on
The
crying.
people just keep on crying.
It's unfair. And we going nowhere. Some. You're some. All the big people. You're some. 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 All the roadside hustlers. Some. Tiffy, Uncle Rico.
The big C divide us.
Tiffy, Uncle Rico.
The big C.
It's all in the game.
It's all in the game.
Here, there, and
Here,
everywhere.
there, and everywhere.
The people keep on
The
crying.
people just keep on crying.
It's unfair. And we going nowhere. Some. You're some. All the big people. You're some. 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 All the roadside hustlers. Some. Tiffy, Uncle Rico.
The big C divide us.
Tiffy, Uncle Rico.
The big C.
It's all in the game.
It's all in the game.
Here, there, and
Here,
everywhere.
there, and everywhere.
The people keep on
The
crying.
people just keep on crying.
It's unfair. And we going nowhere. Some. You're some. All the big people. You're some. 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 All.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta whip us some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not go. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with their speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you that's why we voted you. But you screw us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us so. The people lie to us.
Welcome to Keg Media, the horizon of creativity. We are a team of creative storytellers that are driven by the desire to help you bring your dreams to life. Our services include production seller, video production, equipment rental, photo shoot studio services, podcast studio rental, post-production, design and branding, digital marketing, television commercials, event coverage, and live streaming. We understand that every project is an opportunity to make a difference, inspire, move, and change the world. Whether you're a small business or a large corporation, we work closely with you to create a personalized experience that will help you to reach your goals. Our state-of-the-art equipment and cutting-edge technology guarantee that your project is produced to the highest standards. We also understand the importance of creating a strong brand and reaching your target audience. That's why we offer a wide range of digital marketing services, including social media management, search engine optimization, and online advertising. At Keg Media, we are dedicated to helping you achieve your vision and make an impact. Contact us today, and let's make it happen together.
If you happy with the way things are, then go and register to vote. If you're not happy with the way things are, then you got to register to vote. If you happy with the way things are, then go and register to vote. If you're not happy with the way things are, you better register to vote. Go and register to vote. Go and register to vote. 'Cause that's your power. Your power. Go and register to vote. I said, go and register to vote. 'Cause that's your power. Your power is in your hand. Don't just sit there wasting time. You got to register to vote. Your vote is your future. You don't wanna be a loser. Don't just sit there wasting time. You got to register to vote. Your vote is your future. You don't wanna be a loser. Go and register to vote. Go and register to vote. 'Cause that's your power. Your power. Go and register to vote. I said, go and register to vote. 'Cause that's your power. Your power is in your hand. Bassa, Nimba, Lofa, Majibi, Reverses, Sino, Grand Crew, Maryland, Grand G-Day, Guami, Cape Mount, Maserado, Mapolu, River G, and Bong. Registration period 20th of March to May 11th. 20th of March to May 11th, 2023. Go and register to vote. Go and register.
Rescue mission. Hey.
feet and rest. Go to the left and rest, to the right and rest, to the front and rest, to the back and rest, on the feet and rest, on the feet and rest. Yo. Rescue number one, yo.
People just keep on crying.
And we going out without your
And to come to Liberia because people have put their cars on the table already to bring electricity.
It's all in the game.
It's all in the game.
Here, there, and everywhere.
Well. We're back here. Hello, everybody. Hello. If you dare, can you come on live, please? I'd like to say good evening, good afternoon to everybody who's following. Can you kindly mute your phone, please? Thanks, Jerry. Good afternoon. Welcome, everybody. I'd like to say a very big welcome to all of you. Today is Friday, the 17th of February, the year AD 2023. It's election year in Liberia. The month is October. The date is the 10th of October. We'll be voting for a new leader. I would like to say welcome to everybody. It's great to have you here as always. Today is Friday. It's the weekend. We'd like to also say a big congratulations to Geraldine Pia as he celebrates his 16th wedding anniversary. I would like to wish him Godspeed and best wishes. We also like to say thanks to all of our listeners who follow us on radio, those of you who follow us via Facebook and other social media platforms. It's always an honor to be here and to have you in our company. We're looking forward today to having a very, 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 very interesting conversation. There are lots of issues trending, and hopefully we can delve into them and provide, where necessary, the clarification and context to most of the unfolding issues happening in Liberia and across other Liberian communities across the globe. I am your host, as always, Stephen Johnson, saying it's good to be here. We come your way on the following radio stations. That's Bourgeois Radio FM 98.1 in Montserrat, Premier FM 98.1 in Banga, Bon County, Radio Dupa FM 89.1 in Grand Bassa County, Voice of Lofa FM 99.3, all the way there in Vonjama, Lofa County, Radio Joy Africa FM 97.5 in Mangibi, and of course, Voice of Gompa FM 106.5, all the way there in Gompa City, Nima County. We'd like to say, as we do here, share the show. The Dean of Student will be here to check on the results. As always, we want 1,000 shares. 1,000 shares. So I don't know the status now. Maybe somebody who watching can look at it and see how much we have, and we hope that each one will share. Each of you will share at least 5 times, so that we can have as many persons as we can follow us to the program. Tonight we have with us in studio Mohamed Ali, Daniel Sando, Michelle Dupont, Jerry Yiman Yupan, Jerry Linnick, Matthew Pia, and of course our one and only Reverend on the platform, Reverend Wendell Emo. It's good to have you join us, gentlemen. How are you guys? Let me say welcome to all of our students following us via Facebook. Just a person so that I can recognize as many persons as I can. And let me just say for the record, I don't recognize people in no particular order. It's just random. I just, as the name goes up, I just call it as fast as I can. I see Geraldine J. Tukwe. I see Clarence Benson, Boyta Davis Nemo, Vanny Tule. I see Darlington Collins will join us. I see Charles Coleman, Praise, Maurice Kamara, Ente Grace Son, Theophilus Jibe, Inosio Simbe, I see Daniel Bade, Henrietta, Kona Morgan, David Giffler, Franklin, Prince Bobo, Anita Foko, Clarence Smith, Franklin Kamoyan, David Giffler. I see Solomon D. Stentello, Morris, Francis Weir, Flomo Livingston, Adaman Tomekai, Al Khalifa Sese, Thomas Jima, David Giffler, Dixon Yosia, Isaac Gordon-Nutter, Fokpa, Morval K. Williams. How are you, Mr. Williams? Mohammed K. Wulare, I see Lise Bole, I see Mohammed, I see Ize, Helena Spencer, Alfred Cowboy, Helena Spencer, Abraham Glay, Eugene Harris, Kelvin Shems, Harriet Johnson, Samuel Bravo, Re, Bompasse, Aaron Siafa, Umaru Toure, Depierre Joe, James Harris, Phoebe Warity, Voming Di Papa, Victor Gondo, Abraham Glay, Kasim Sharif, David Giffler, Dompe Corey, Bradley Brown, Stephen Topa, Adama Thompson, Phoebe Warity, James Harris, Thomas Newman, Crisco Bimba, Mohammed Jabba, Caroline Taylor, Isaac Tom Pedo, Carlos Manzo, Kola Queen, Pompey Say, Josh Cooper, Randall Thomas, how are you, Randall? Albert Tio, Edwin Dopo, Sammy Doma, Thomas Tipple Dempster, Jupta. What's up, my man? Jupta. Jupta Nyagate, what's up? Yasu Johansson, Aaron Giddings School, Stella Murray, Daniel Goya, Abraham, Lavo, CBO, Toy, Chris, Lorraine, Clara, Way, Howard, and all of you wonderful people joining us. It's always good to have you join us. Kindly share the show. Let's invite as many persons as we can so that we can have a wonderful. I see Lorraine, Ginger, and Francis, Clara, Umaru Kengo, Teddy Bear, Regina Benson, Robert Hill, Ibrahim Davis, Teddy Ba, Warlaw, everybody. Amos Gomoyo, Al Hassan Dolly, meaning Dwell, Lorraine, Favor, James, and all of you wonderful people watching us. We'll check on the radio station. I think we'll have Daniel. Can you check on Bourgeois Radio? I see people complaining that Bourgeois Radio is off. I don't know why. Daniel will check on it and we'll feedback you. Thanks for the update, James Harris, and everybody. I'd like to say welcome. Yeah, welcome to class, everybody. Fumi Massacre, Sufficient, Mongo Gabriel, Pazawie, how are you? Everybody, Noah, Ayomi Frank, Joe Melenberg, Mohammed Sheikh, Barbara Menyonga, and everybody. Kindly share the show. Paraha Tot on everybody. George, Roger, Patricia La, Padla, Umaru Toure, and everybody. Kindly share the show so that we can have a wonderful discussion. So on tonight's edition, we will look at what's trending. I will go around the table, and our panelists will talk about trending national issues across Liberia. And then we're hoping that we can get the Secretary General from SOUP. I had sent in the link, sending some messages. I didn't get response. Hopefully, maybe Pia will get him via phone to join us so that we can talk about the tuition-free policy at the U.S., some national issues, the role of the university ahead of the 2023 elections, and some other pressing national issues. So without much ado, as the both people say at this juncture, we will begin with first trending. 3 minutes each. Please pay attention to the time. We'll start with Jerry. We'll go to Pastor Mo, Jupor, Mo Ali, Daniel Sando, and of course, Pia will wrap us up before we begin the conversation. So Jerry, 3 minutes. Pay attention. It's 20 by 23. Expect that you'll be done. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. I mean, we are straight on the time issue. Have fun. Yeah, thanks. And I would like to say congratulations and happy wedding anniversary to veteran Jeremy Pia and his wife. It's not an easy thing to, I mean, go through number of years. But for me, I'm really concerned because we go into elections. You know, what is the status of this census report? There's one census that we're supposed to use to demarcate constituencies and all of that. I listened to Senator Dillon the other day raising the issue. So any other thing in this government is fiasco. Anything that the government, you know, take taxpayer money for, that fiasco. Then if the president gets ready, he takes the podium and pretending to be preaching and say, don't mind them. That the Liberian people shouldn't mind them. Because these are the people that really lie to us. Everything you came and say, okay, we'll conduct census. You should have done this since 2018. You came and explained stories. Up to now, we are going to elections. We do not know the status of this much talk about census that was associated with a lot of controversy. Where are we headed as a country? Where are we headed as a country? I mean, it just caught my attention because these are things, these are foundational issues that, if not addressed, because there have been series of information, you know, from some of our, you know, sources, that there's a game being played here. If we talk here, some people say we should not be worried about cheating. That's why I like when Pastor Mo said the last time, the process that can lead to making noise after the election starts now. All these things are happening. You don't hear other people talking. That's why when I heard the Council of Churches say they are mediating between Senator Johnson and President Weah, are they not aware of some of the major national issues that have the proclivity to undermine our peace? They should have the balls to be able to come and tell the president, Mr. President, this is what we're talking about. You're discussing censor that is tied to our elections. Everyone say, oh, they have the census up to present. If you are not having people protesting for their money, you cannot. How do we go to these elections? Members of the legislature sitting there. Oh yeah, thanks to Senator Delay and other people. People were counted. Now we have not even started voter registration. We did census a few months ago. Up to present, it's fiasco. When you talk about it, the president said we should not mind. Oh no. We are telling the people not to mind you. Because everything the government put our hand in, that fiasco. Where are we? Where are the youth and students organizations? Where are the Liberia Council of Churches?
You got 30 seconds.
Yeah, they are very important. Another thing I wanted to talk about is a moral issue. That's why I told most of my friends not to even share with me. Today, I mean, I saw the video, even though it's not on Facebook, but in different chat rooms. I heard that police arrested a lady who publicly, because it's a disgrace. This is a mean disgrace to a woman who, where a lady will decide to go to a public place and naked herself, and people decide to videotape her and start circulating it. If the men have done that to say, okay, let me leak this video, it will have been something. These are the things that we must talk about. Some ladies are not seeing that as a disgrace to a woman who. But a lady will decide to go to a public place on a holiday and decide to naked herself, videotape, and people start to distribute it and pass it. Now I told somebody, nobody sent that to me. Because this is a disgrace. If you have a mother, you have a sister, you have a daughter, you understand what I'm talking about. All these things are not issues. Association of Female Love, I want that domestic violence, I want no abuse to women. All the people that are supposed to talk, they are not talking. But people do all kinds of things, and later on they decide to shift.
Okay, all right, Jerry.
Blame.
Thanks.
So, I mean, these are the two issues for now. As we move along, we'll raise other issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Pastor Mo.
Yeah, thank you. I want to thank God for life, a gift to breathe. And I want to thank God for each and every one of us on this platform, those by way of radio and those watching by way of Facebook. TGIF, today is Friday, and it is a beautiful day. We're here to discuss trending issues confronting our nation. And as I read in the front page, Africa is a public works minister, Madam Collins, has been accused of paying selective contractors to carry on government work. And I think those selective contractors that they are paying are places that they have share into. And it is unfortunate that we will face such act in a time like this. The next one that caught my attention is the U.S. Embassy Deputy Chief of Mission. Many of you don't know who the Chief of Mission is. The Chief of Mission from the U.S. Embassy, they take care of most of UC projects, and they take care of them bringing in military or expert to work along with the military and train military and paramilitary agency in Liberia. And he spoke to the judiciary system of Liberia, urging them to make follow-up on sanctioned officials of government. And the government have yet to speak on sanctioned officials, which is saddening, and it's something that is worrisome because we see these people going to partake in the elections. And as we all prepare for elections this year, like I always say, we're going to be in Liberia. We're not going to announce when we're going to be there. We will be there and we will leave from there safely. But the fact of the matter is that we all need to protect our votes. And as long as you are a Liberian and you are not for the CDC, you are in opposition, you need to protect your votes. If it calls for you to vote that day and stay there until the result is announced, we have to be our own security. Let us not wait for the ruling party. Let us not wait for them to tell us what to do. Let us be proactive. Let us be our own security. We don't have CCTV. We don't have access to security protection, but we have access to protect our votes. That is my encouragement to every well-meaning Liberians. Let us protect our vote. We're not giving any right for them to cheat this time around. I say congratulations to Mr. and Mistress Jerelime Pia. Happy 16th wedding anniversary. We are learning from you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Chupo.
Yes, thank you. It's a pleasure being on the show tonight. So fronting from my end tonight, another mysterious death is born as a 21-year-old man identified as Ase Kwapolo was discovered dead in an unfinished building in Rubber Factory community early Thursday morning. So it was reported that the lifeless body of Ase was discovered dead after he went out to ease himself early in the morning about 5 o'clock. So we were able to speak with the brother of the deceased. His name is Chad Kwakpe. That's Kwakpe. He said his brother had not been engaged into any other activity except drinking. And he has never been someone who is violent and who has actually been, insulting leaders in this side of the country. But just to their surprise, they woke up early that morning when his brother said he was going out to ease himself. And to that dismay, he did not return until the day got clear, just to get information that his brother's lifeless body is lying in another unfinished building in Rubber Factory community. But up to press time, the 15-man drill was set up by the Bond County police detachment, and they said there was foul play on the body As a matter of fact, the guy was brutally beaten, and bruises was all over his body. But up to press time, we are yet to get information from them as to who actually carried out the brutal murder of the guy and what actually was their intention, what led to it, and several other hard questions. So according to them, they said they are still investigating the matter, and in due course, they are going to inform journalists. And just to wrap up on this human interest story, over 200 inhabitants of Yidikwale district are currently sleeping in the open because of a violent storm that hit them early this week. So we were able to speak to some of the affected residents in that side of the district, and they said, the disaster management team, since the incident occurred about Monday, there have been no response from the disaster management team regarding, their whereabouts, or how ready they are going to manage. And they said something they mentioned that actually caught my attention was, unlike past time, if issue of such occurred, you observe that this disaster management team will amicably respond. They will respond quickly, but not like present time, where in situation of such have occurred almost a week now. There have been no response from inhabitants. That's the disaster management team, and they are actually finding it difficult. Some of them said they are actually sleeping with their relatives, while others said they are sleeping with, family members in that side of the district. So thank you.
Thank you there, Chupo. Daniel, your 3 minutes starts. You're muted.
Thank you, Stephen. Let me say good afternoon to everybody here, and good afternoon to our listeners. The radio station issue is being addressed. I'm told the generator encountered some problems, so the station is currently off the air, but it's being addressed by the management. Happy wedding anniversary to Mr. Pia. It's a good thing to see you here. But training for me is coincidentally the same issue that was raised by Jerry Yuma. I think, given the way the CDC-led government has handled this national housing and population census, creates sufficient doubt on the integrity of the results that will be released by the entity. Regardless of the assurances that we've been given by the international partners, we have to understand that the CDC-led government has shown some level of, lack of interest. In the first place, this census is long overdue. And for some of us who did elementary geography, we're made to understand the essence of the National Housing and Population Census. It is not just intended to make us aware as to how many persons live in the country. The data from this census can be used for many developmental purposes. For example, what informs a government decision to build a polytechnic, or university, or high school in a given electoral constituent? It is based on the number as per the population density. So to see the government blatantly violating the Constitution of Liberia that calls for the holding of census every 10 years by law, we should have had a census in 2018. The CDC government gave some flimsy excuse to say that there was no money. When the founder decided to conduct the census with the help of the international partners, what did we see? The handling of the census was a complete mess. It was a complete mess. And up to date, I'm surprised as to whether the international partners are still expressing confidence in the outcome of a process that was doomed for failure from the very beginning. So we're going to a major election in October this year. The population in this country is projected to increase. So what is going to inform the statistics at NEC, because NEC is only going for voter register per constituent. So to delineate the political boundary, NEC needs to have an updated numbers as to the residents or the number of people that live in a particular electoral constituency, either to redemarcate or to redelineate political boundaries. That cannot be done because Legis has messed up the entire national housing and population census. And, and it is absolutely worrisome. Worrisome in that the data that's supposed to inform the decision of the National Election Commission to set the boundaries is not available. So again, like they did in 2011, you're going to see the Election Commission is going to be setting political boundaries as per the total number of voters that register in a particular area, which is wrong. A constituent must be defined as per the number of persons living in a particular area, because the political and economic decision that will be made by the government will also extend to people who are non-voters. So you do not demarcate boundaries on the basis of people who register to vote. There are people who have not acquired the age of 18, and they have to be impacted. They have to be captured in government developmental agenda. How do we do that if we don't have a verified statistics to inform the decision of the National Election Commission? I recall in 2011, the Liberty Party took issue with the National Election Commission to say that the way they proceeded in demarcating the political boundary was wrong. So we're going to have a replay of that mess. Several years after the Unity Party government had exited the scene. I think this, to an extent, speaks to, the high level of incompetence of the people who Mr. Weah has entrusted to steer the affairs of the agency. Today, Mr. Lawrence George was at the budget hearing, and you wouldn't believe this man could not even explain. He could not even defend the budget of Legis before the Senate committee on ways, the Joint Committee on Ways, Means, Finance, and Budget. It was a complete flop. It's completely embarrassing that people who have been entrusted to steer the affairs of critical agencies of government do not even know what they're doing there. So again, I don't know how we intend to proceed, but there has to be some level of political pressure that will be brought upon the government and the National Election Commission to ensure that these things are done properly. Because if they're not done properly, all of the mess that has been created before the election will have a negative impact on the outcome of the 2023 presidential and legislative election. I just thought to flag that. Thank you.
Thank you. Darlington.
Well, thank you, Stephen. What is trending on my end is the song that you played from the beginning of this program by Enter Miata, waking up the consciousness of our people to get out to register to vote. Because you see, no matter how well we make analysis here on this platform and try to, point out the ills in the society, sadly, we have a government that don't believe in the tenets of democracy. So we'll just be moving in cycles. All we can do is to call on our people that as we hopefully await the voter registration process, that you can take your righteous anger, by getting registered to vote. All of us in the diaspora who can make it there to get registered and vote, I think it should be our duty to call on our people to come out, register to vote. Because I see here, Stephen, some of my friends on this platform, panelists, expressing their disappointment in the census report, that should have been coming up or should be up by now. But sadly, you have a government that don't even believe in statistics. They are not interested in the numbers, especially as to whether it will inform our decision before we go to the election, if we are to create new districts or, where is less populated and so forth, to inform policy-making decision. The government is not interested in that. If the guys were interested in that, the leader of the country, in fact, you announce census, the president will order the country on a social safari. So I hear people, no matter how well we talk, our people listening to us via radio, the best we can do is the upcoming general and presidential elections is for us to take our anger to ensure that we vote these incompetent guys out of power. The guys are not interested they're not interested in statistics. Look everywhere. I see Mr. President dedicating school year, and I read a comment from a very good brother of ours, Stephen, Brother Sako, you probably know him. He said, but schools the infrastructure do not educate people. Nobody is against, building a nice facility, especially when the government is trying to, give Botswana a facelift. Nobody is against that. But you must increase the qualities of teachers in the academic environment, even at the University of Liberia. You come up with these, blank pronouncements that free tuition. What happened there happens there. Teachers are not getting paid. The University of Liberia is in complete disarray. The libraries are not even updated with books for students to go there and read. The science laboratory, you go there, it's sad. So I understand we all talk about, the government of the day coming, to embrace the sense of stuff. But sadly, the people are not just interested in, in the science of governance. So the best we can do is to call on our people to take that righteous anger, to vote these people out so that we can, replace, the damage and try to refix the country and give our country and our people some glimpse of hope. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Darlington. Ali, are you there? I'm not sure Ali is there. Let's go to Pierre, your trending issue.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Let me say thank you to two persons. One of them does not have a problem with the name being called. The other one has not approved of the name being called. But those are two persons associated with the class Reloaded who reached out to me and my family on the occasion of our 16th wedding anniversary, who in their own powers sent us what they thought was their own strength of little gift. That was something that made us happy. At least there are people here associated with the platform that we own who are not just interested in listening to us, but who prepare to identify with us in things we do. So one of them is on the Smith. Smith is already making contribution to this class. I think he gives you, or he sends us $50 every month, specifically what he says should be used for Radio Bezon. Smith reached out to us unsolicited. And another sister who didn't ask us to call her name, so we're not called it, but they are listening. And I just wanted to say to the both of them, thank you. The family appreciate your outreach. On my trending issue, the main trending issue I got here is like, in my mind, a warning to all of us who say we support Joseph Boakai. Sometimes I look and wonder whether we are serious and we want to help Joseph Boakai to win elections. Because some of the observations are that we have pockets of interest. And based on those interests, even though we're supposed to be in the same boat, we go on attacking people who belong to the same tendency. Sometimes I sit and see some lot of young children who say they're supporting Joseph Boakai, and they go after Nyomi Kanga Lawrence and insult her. Because probably they got somebody else who they got interest in who should be vice stand-up bearer or running mate, and they think Nyomi Kanga Lawrence is a threat to them and we are supposed to be on the same side, and they go and insult him. Some of these same people, when they see other people coming around while we're all building together to see and find a way to rescue Liberia, they panic and go after these people with insult. And what that tells me is that we have not understood what election is all about. I was Ellen Johnson Sirleaf press secretary. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf became president through the help of Prince Johnson. And they stopped the United States government from making her to speak at the U.S. Congress. She addressed the young Congress of the U.S. government. She had interaction with two presidents. I won. George Bush flew from here and went to her in Liberia. Obama called her here and sat with her in the White House. Prince Johnson supported her, right? He was a different Prince Johnson at that time. So we got to start acting stupid. Prince Johnson helped to make Ellen president. Prince Johnson also helped to make George Weah president. Now, a few of us see Prince Johnson just visit Joseph Boakai one time, we panic. And we all want to play talking about war crime, this, that. This man is going to be 27 years of senator. Yes, we know people got to be held accountable. But let's develop the mechanism that will hold people accountable. In the absence of that, you pick your own vote, you're looking for a clean vote and dirty vote, and you say you want to win election. You might start joking with yourself. Except there are some people who maybe they sincerely don't want to be involved with a process that will make Joseph Boakai president. Because if you, then you're not going to be chasing people away. When the election commission is doing voter registration, some of the people will be going to the registration site, they are rogues. Some of them are web beaters. Some of them are all kinds of things. They will have vote as equal as you, the clean man.
You have the rapists. Even the rapists will vote.
And you want to draw a line as to who can vote for you? Of what harm is it when Prince Johnson, for example, told the people of Nima say that Joseph Boakai, I think, should be president, so you vote for him. And those who believe in him goes there. Why are people panic about that? And sending dogs and talks after Prince Johnson because he just went to visit Joseph Boakai. What happened to y'all? You know what they call elections? Or you think you're clean more than Jesus Christ? Just stop this thing, man. We're talking about rescuing the country, about talking rescue this, rescue that, rescue that, rescue that. You're thinking the thing that you're doing about bring a rescue when you see somebody around and you panic because you got interest in other people. I don't suppose care because when you see Prince Johnson talking to Joseph Boakai, I say, oh, Prince Johnson, you want me Jamaica couldn't be running mate. Then they panic. Then they panic. What is that? What is that? Just stop undermining yourself. What are you okay, let's put it away. Whether you take Prince Johnson vote or not, Prince Johnson turns his back and says, okay, I'll go back to Wia. So the vote you again, we got enough vote. If we are use that vote to flock you, they're not flocking. Will you not keep him as president and meanwhile you say you want to rescue the country? Why are you so blind politically? Just stop this thing. Joseph Boakai, when he becomes president, he's president of Liberia. You need to build a big thing that brings people together. Don't start jittering and chasing people away. What is this, man? Thank you, Stevie.
Thank you, Pia. And I think that's a very valid point. And this is and you said something very key that I think is important that we look at. I would be worried if Ambassador Boakai is going to compromise his integrity or his values. Then that would be worrisome. But simply having a conversation with Prince Johnson about how opposition, according to Prince Johnson, is now an opposition, can consolidate to remove Wia, how should that be a problem? How should that be a problem? You know, and Pia said it better that a lot of people are panicking on this interest about wanting to be something, and forgetting the global interest, which is us removing Wia. That's the global interest. And we've identified one person who we believe is capable of replacing Wia. We've identified Boakai. And I have said this times without number, that while I will support a particular person to be VP to Boakai, but if that person is not selected as his running mate, it still will not change the fact that I will support Boakai, because the my goal here is not necessarily because I want Boakai to win. My goal here is I want Wia to be removed so that we can put the country on a pathway to progress. And if you look at the whole political process through that prism, you begin to see that Boakai is only the arrowhead that we're rallying around to make that happen. So if I will say my support of Boakai is conditioned upon the fact that he chooses Daniel Sano, and in the event he refuses to choose Daniel Sano, I wouldn't support him, then my real goal here is not to remove Wia. My real goal here is to promote my interests through him. And some of us, we've said times of our number, we're not looking for a Liberia where people will give us jobs because we supported them. No. We're looking for a library where the availability of jobs will be on the basis of what you can deliver.
What you can
and
do.
that you'll be able to compete among qualified people for it. That's the kind of library we want. And that is why we support JB, because we believe that he stands for principles, he stands on the foundation of value and integrity that you need to move the country. And I hope we can, we can going forward pay attention to that. And let me also say this.
And Stephen, 1 minute, you just made a solid point. 1 minute. I mean, so if we ask Jerome Pia, what's your choice of who Joseph Boakai will be? Or Joseph Boakai running mate should be? It's no secret. I suppose nobody can Lawrence. Not because she must come from Grand Bassa. That's my candidate. But you are jittered now because Prince Johnson coming around and are panicking that, oh, maybe Prince Johnson will want to ask JMB to make Jeremiah Kun running mate, and therefore I try to destroy that ticket because of my selfish interest in Nobody Kanga Lawrence. While I support Nobody as my choice of running mate, I also realize that the decision as to who the running mate will be is all Joseph Boakai's affair because of what our rules say. And I'm not going to break down that tent, break down this ticket, break down everything about it because Joseph Boakai maybe he does not take Nobody and take somebody else. I'll be happy when he takes Nobody. But if he doesn't take Nobody, I stand with the ticket. Whoever he takes, whether Tiawan Gonglo, whether Jeremiah Kun, whether Henry Costa, whether whoever he takes, I stand with that ticket. So let's start putting our selfish interest above this entire mission and fighting people unnecessarily because we think they will stand better chance than us in being running mate. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. Let me sincere. I want to rescue Liberia with a quote-unquote rescue slogan. With this is how the people in the public will look at us and know whether if we deal with these people and give them our corner, whether it be serious people or they just a group of confusion people. That are CPP. This same ugly attitude destroy the CPP today. We come back, standing on our own, trying to build alliances. And if Prince Johnson, for example, who we all know can have everybody to win, is reaching out to Joseph Boakai. Joseph Boakai not even going to back him, but he reached out to Joseph Boakai. Why are people panicking and launching attacks all over the place? Why are we doing this thing? Sorry, Stephen, go ahead.
I know. And let me say the second thing, and this is to Daniel's point on the issue of leases. On Wednesday, we had a very heated conversation here where we talk about the legislature and how our legislators have, for the most part, many of them have always ranked the interest of the president over the interest of the people they represent. And this particular issue with legislation points to the fact that we as the people who do not have any power. Daniel, just mute a second, we're getting feedback. We as the people, we do not have any power to checkmate legislation on our own, other than maybe gathering at the head of office and protests. In representative democracy, based on political science, the people surrender their sovereignty to their leaders in the form of representative. And those leaders are the ones who represent the interests of the people who are considered the governed. And we call them the governors. If legis is proceeding wrongly, who should call legis to order? And I purposely did a post today on the class page to really gauge the opinion of our people and see how many of them got registered through the census. Up to the last time I checked that post, we had over 200 or some more votes. About 80 to 85% of the people who have said they've not been counted by legis. And yet and still, legis says that the census was successful and that they will publish it beginning next week to show that the census was successful. And this is dangerous. The reason why it's dangerous is most of the time, census are not necessarily because of elections. Election is the political side of the census because you want to do redistribution, you want to do your districting, redistricting, all that. That's the political side. For some of us who are students of economics, we know the importance of census in ways where there are data you collect from these census that will be used to form development agendas. So how do you even move capital investment in places? It's based on population. If you want to, for instance, put a toll road on certain roads, you got to look at the population there. How many of the people in that population have access to cars? How many of them own cars? Those are data that come out of these census that people pay attention to, that has a strong influence on how development is apportioned across the country. And that has been compromised. Why? Because a few persons sat down in their room, microwave data and number, and Nages is about to publish it. And finally, on my training issue, the issue of this Botswana. You know, this is 2023, my people. This is 2023. When we decide to build schools, when we decide that there is a need for us to build schools, the same amount of concern we put in our private property, that care, that class, that we put in our private property, should be that same kind of class and care we should put in public projects that benefit the people, especially our children. You cannot be building school in 2022, 2023 with Colombo whole day for children to go sit in those classes. This is mediocre. This is setting for mediocrity. This is wrong. Compare that nonsense to we are condominium. Compare that nonsense to we are condominium. If you want to expand Botswana and say that the conditions there are terrible, and then you building substandard schools, only because those children are children of poor people, many of whom support you. And so you build these makeshift buildings, put Colombo hole there, that they will go in class. You can't even put air conditioning in these things for these kids to learn. It's so expensive that government is afraid to even put air conditioning in some of these classes. But private homes of these guys are like mansions, swimming pool, playgrounds. We have their football field in a yard, in condominium there, swimming pool. A 9th Street resident, swimming pool on the beach overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. But when you go build these schools for these kids, we build these makeshift structures as if we're not even thinking that we are preparing the future leaders of our country. And then we expect our children to compete globally. How? In 21st century, people still writing on blackboard with chalk. You expect children to compete? People graduating from university cannot even boot a computer. Many of whom have never touched a laptop. I remember back in the days, I wanted to do elective, assigned management 305, introduction to computer. I could draw a computer without even seeing it. We got brought the thing on the board, drew it, we were drawing the mainframe, the how you call it, the desktop, the CPU, the mouse. We were drawing this thing. The first day they took us to the computer.
The mouse, the monitor.
Yeah, the CPU. The first day the man took us to the real computer class. We were over 200 in the class. The computer is almost a mile radius away from us. One man sat down behind there and teaching our computer. We're building the next generation of leaders. We're still subjecting them to antique learning. If you want to build school in 2023, build it with class, at least. Electronic blackboard, digital libraries, access to computer. These kids were building the future of our country. How do we expect our children to compete globally when locally they don't even have what it takes, the tools? Who told you education is only about structure? Education is the collage of many things. Besides the pedagogical learning techniques that teachers must have, you're talking about access to technology, access to reading material, access to new technology, all these things, electronic blackboard, all these things. These are things people should start thinking. We can be building school in 2023, and we're building that, and we're building school in 1822 with Colombo Hall, with makeshift structure, armchair, people children that go there let it go. What's this? At what point do we say, oh, you know what? This is the cutoff point. Let's look at Liberia from the prism of the global community. How can we promote our children in ways that they can compete globally? But no, every time we get a chance to do it right, we do it the same way or even worse. This is nonsense. This is complete nonsense. I saw the school. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? We're building school in 2023 with Colombo holes for air to pass through it.
But Steven, you expected you expect serious school to be built, Steven. They've been had 6 years, he didn't build anything. Everything you see Joe are trying to do in a political project.
Yeah, trying to fatten people on market day.
The 419 trying to fool the people to say, oh, you see me at Bain Squad. 419, I tell you, the people will not be moved by those things. I told you on the show on Wednesday, people concerned about their day-to-day struggle that they're going through as individuals. You go build Colombo School building somewhere in your last year because you come to leave power, nobody get out with that nonsense.
They're trying to fatten people on market day.
But Stephen, how about your man, Representative Gray, who is building pit latrine in the 21st century and taking pictures
you
of
can't
it?
even use. I asked you the other day, you can use them to vote ease yourself.
Like you even
building people's toilet that you can't even use yourself. Then how you build it for the people you serve?
Stephen, you are right. Because you see, for me, 75% of my public service experience is with the MCSS. And right now we are not. It's not about Wyatt. It's about WAS. So if there was a debate before between faculties of the University of Liberia and that of public schools, who preparing the children? No, they fail, or you are entering. No, that MCSS. Oh no, that this one. But the core issue, these issues are not addressed. You cannot do imaginative, kind of stuff. People talk about paramecium in this 21st century, they can see it. They talk about the other euglena, all the kind of stuff, They're just doing learning by, imagination. How do you expect them to perform when they go to WAS? It happened the last time there was a mistake.
If they can compete nationally, if they can compete
nationally, internationally, even during the early Johnson time, we had one challenge. Can you imagine you send a budget? You send a budget to the Ministry of Finance.
Take it easy, Jerry. Give a host chance to conduct the show.
Ali just joining us. Ali, what's training for your M, man?
So I'm totally lost.
We're on training issue.
Oh, okay. So Stephen, like we're discussing in the background, quite a few times we have people called and said the CDC has launched a campaign in the countryside telling the people that it is a law in Africa that when somebody wins an election, the person is supposed to be given the chance to go for 2 terms. Nobody's supposed to challenge them. In fact, they are going ahead telling the people that is the reason why when they got to understand the law in 2011, that is the reason why they never participated in the second round, so that they could give Madam Sirleaf the chance to complete her second term. I thought to bring this because today I spoke with a journalist who are going to NIMA to do some, on the spot opinion pool. And those are some of the things people were telling him. We want to clarify that this is a complete lie. As a matter of fact, if this was the case, then they would not say after every 6 years, let's have election to elect a new leadership of the country. They would have just said, okay, 6 years, 12 years, just be there for 12 years and no second term. When you finish with your 12 years, you go sit down. The reason why the Constitution says 6 years is because you have to take that 6 years to evaluate what the leadership has done, what they have achieved. And if they pass within your own purview and review, then you can give them another term. My people, it's like going to school. You go to school, every year you expect to be promoted. You're supposed to pass from one class to another. When you go to the school, you pass your subjects. They give you tests, you fail. You take quiz, you fail. You will not pass to the second grade if you were in first grade. And when you fail 2 times from school, can give you NTR. So I want you all to listen. The reason why they say after every 6 years we will have election is because they want you to have a new leadership. Their leadership has failed. And they cannot go now to campaign on what they've done because they don't have anything to show. So they come in to lie to the people to say, oh, by the time they elect you the first term, that means you're supposed to be there to complete your second term. And not true. They fail. They can't go to the next class. And in that case, when you fail, your result are removal. You vote to remove them. If that were the case, my people, you all listen. Some representatives then will not go 1 term, then you all vote them out. You think about how many representatives and senators we can remove. In 2014, 15 senators went for election. Only 2 came back. That were Prince Johnson and Senator Joel Howard Taylor. 13, they voted them out. So if that law they're talking about, if it existed, then the senator then too was supposed to benefit. They were supposed to come back. There are also several other representatives. They go there 1 term. They not do good in our district. We turn them outside. We have 1 senator in Cape Mount, Victor Wassing. We elected him after 9 months, he failed. We turn him outside. So they not get no law. When the people go there, they fail, you all pull them out. All that campaign they bring it to you that not true. You will not listen to it, that lie. If it's all to be there for 12 years, the constitution will not say after 6 years, you must vote. So what was poor money for them to go vote for the same people again? That itself makes sense. You will not listen to them. Oh, thank you, Stephen. That's my training issue.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you very much. And let me say thanks to all of you. And again, a big welcome to all of our listeners to the Class Reloaded. Today is the Friday edition of the program. We are here live in studio with Mohammed Ali, Daniel Sando, Michelle Dupont, Remy Moore, Darlington Collins, Jerry Yimpa, and of course, Pia, who celebrates his 16th anniversary today. We'd like to say welcome again. I'm your host, Stephen Johnson. God, let's move. Pia started this conversation. You spoke about it briefly. I want to gauge your opinion on it.
So Steve, before you go there, let me just say to the UP people and all the opposition people who are listening, in addition to what Mo Ali just said. I know Mo has tried to give this explanation on this show, but that's not sufficient. It doesn't reach everywhere. CDC is launching that campaign. If it is a campaign they've launched, according to what he has said, there should be a practical counter to that campaign now by the party people on the ground. Party got local offices in all the country. It doesn't even require people coming from Monrovia. Empower them. Let them reach out. Let them have massive outreach to the people and explain this. Just as Mo is explaining that this is not true. Get ready. If you are pleased with these people, fine. If you're not pleased with them, get ready to vote them out. That's what we need to do. It's not sufficient for us to just say on this platform and we think we'll reach everywhere that CDC has launched that campaign. So if our party people are listening, they need that outreach. Reach the voters and disabuse their mind of these lies coming from the CDC. If you're very serious for this election, what did you do? I just want to make that point because it's not sufficient for us to just talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. We need ground command. You need a ground command. You come here with basics.
If these fellow from SUG listening, you know, sometimes I want people can get mad with me because I'm always straightforward. We had a conversation. You agreed to be on the show. I've been trying to reach Yusuf. He's not responding. We talked earlier today, and he did say they were coming on. Now the show is on. I'm trying to reach out. I know you still reach out to him.
Yeah, I did.
If he's listening, let him do the needful. They agree to come on. That's how people respect you. When you make a decision what you want to do it. Don't turn your back without any explanation. That's not good. That's not leadership. You guys are leaders of tomorrow. The president, we had made a commitment to do something. He didn't go there, y'all go for his name. So don't do the same thing here. If you're listening, y'all got to come on because you're committed to coming on.
Yeah, I hope they can respond to our messages and come on, wanted to talk about the university. But while we were with them, let's look at this trending issue. Every time the news is centered around JMB, it becomes a topical issue. I remember when he flew the private jet, it became a big trending issue. People had to discuss it all over. When he took sick, Daniel, can you mute a second? We're getting feedback from you. When he took sick, it became a trending issue. His trip to the US, also a trending issue. His foundations, fundraiser became a trending issue. And so everything about this man has become a topical issue. Recently, which was just yesterday, we saw a picture circulating on social media and a narrative from the office of the former vice president in which it indicated that Prince Johnson had met JMB, and among other things, they discussed a couple of national issues, specific of which they didn't diverge, but they gave us an overview of what was the conversation centered around. And we've seen many mixed reactions. Pierre talked about how some people have gotten serious reservation on their own because of their own private interests. And we've seen many mixed reactions. There are lots of people who think that visit was good. It was in the interest of the country. It was in the best interest of forming a collaboration around opposition so that we can defeat Weah in October. And I'm sure all of us on the platform here have followed that conversation. I will go across the table to hear from you on what is your take. 2 minutes each. I'll begin with Pastor Mo. I'll go to Darlington, Jerry, Jupor, Ali, Daniel, and then Pierre. So that would be the order. So it starts with Pastor Mo, then Darlington, then Jerry, Jupor, Ali, Daniel, and Pierre. So you go for 2 minutes each. Thanks.
Thank you. In my 2 minutes, a couple of weeks ago, or I think about a month ago, I spoke here and I said, Prince Johnson, what he was saying that he's not going to support George Weah anymore, he's going to leave it open. I said, I think Prince Johnson have gotten to the place where he have reconsidered his decision was wrong. Not only the people being a victim, he himself being a victim. And he tried to look for a place that he can go and do the right thing this time. So that is why Prince Johnson met with Honorable Buckeye. But let us understand this. Honorable Buckeye said it is open. Unlike other people that is going around paying people money to pair with them, he booked an appointment and he went and sat in a meeting. And all we need to do is let us know what was the discussion, the details of the meeting. Like Honorable Pierre said earlier, Prince Johnson was instrumental in Madam Ellen Johnson being president. Prince Johnson was instrumental. Oh, somebody keep calling me.
Can I go ahead? I'm not hearing you, Steven.
Go ahead.
Steven, okay. All right, thank you. So you see, yesterday, I mean, we all saw the photos of Vice President Buckeye and Senator Johnson. I think a lot of people know my resentment to Senator Johnson. But in troubling political times like these, somebody said Dr. Formula actually, told us this story at the TRC. Well, this guy was drowning in the ocean, and a big guy, swimming guy, came his way and said, "Just get on my back. I will swim with you and cross you." He said, you know, I trust my God, he will save me. You know, Jesus walked on water. The king came, he told the king no. You know, the ship king, he said no. And he died, he went to heaven. He said, Lord, I've been very faithful and paid my tithes and offering. I was drowning and you never came. But Lord said, can't you understand that I help those who help themselves? What I'm trying to say to you here, repeatedly, the people of Nimba have said to us that Senator Johnson is their hero. Miriam Makeba said, one man hero is another man terrorist, another man terrorist, another man hero. Until we as a country can move to instituting measures on holding people accountable for war crimes, we cannot be cherry picking about who here and there. Because honestly, if you ask me my personal engagement, there's no law that can stop these people from contesting elections. Insofar as we cannot stop them from contesting elections, the Constitution of the Republic said they have the right to exercise their democratic franchise. So if Senator Johnson go and meet, you know, His Excellency Joseph Boakai, I think is welcoming. We don't know what discussion will carry out. We don't know, but that courtesy call with the vice president, I think these are political times and people will be engaging. There will be meetings. You know, Gafwan would say there will be alliance and realliance. You know, the very same people from the ANC. The other day, I remember them when Senator Johnson had to say, "But Cummings were here giving me money under the cover of darkness for my school." A lot of the people from the ANC, they never refuted that. But, you know, when he met, you know, Joe Boakai yesterday, people from the ANC started posting, you know, the pictures. Then the CDC people started asking, you know, they will always ask questions and they will jitter in fear. But anybody, you know, who understands that the Unity Party is the major opposition political party, and you genuinely support Joseph Boakai, seeing Senator Johnson paying a courtesy call to the vice president, I think it's a big boost for the Unity Party campaign. I mean, Prince Johnson is no small potato in Nimba. Without stop, the question we should be asking, to, you know, Vice President Boakai, and trust and believe it's not just because we want political power, Stephen. We should ask the tough questions to Mr. Boakai. If you are president, are you pro war crimes code? We should be clear on these issues. Like Representative Yeke Kolaba, who himself participated in the war, he said, yes, I support Joe Boakai. We have been working with Yeke over the years. He said, but if you bring war crimes code, we'll go to the court and answer. So I think it was a good thing to have Senator Johnson meeting, you know, Vice President Boakai.
Thank you. Pastor Mojo, I conclude in your 1 minute.
Yeah, in my 1 minute. Thank you. I had a call. So, like I said, there's not a big deal that we all should be running on social media because, like I said earlier, somebody gave 55,000 on the water, but you didn't just give 55,000 because you wanted to be generous. You gave 55,000. In the end, you send delegate to advocate for alliance. He said, no. You gave me money, but I can't run with you. And I think we all should wait. Let the details of the meeting come up. And if Prince Johnson decides to support him, yes. Without stop the war crime court? Nope. Let us wait for the details of the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cherry?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. I do not know, why some of our people who claim to be supporting JMB or members of the CDC are panicking. For me, JMB is now the political godfather in our country. All of our citizens are looking up to him for leadership. And so, and he's a person who has a very good interpersonal relationship. So this time is about time to reach out. So for me, I do not see any problem of PYJ going to visit him, pay a courtesy call. So, he said on the VOA that we are open to conversation. We are not listening to these people from opposite Lone Star. I hate to call it a sycamore tree because sycamore tree is a tree of transformation. And we cannot see the transformation from that side. So, it's a good thing for JMB to continue to reach out to people. We should not listen to some of these people who are panicked. Honestly, they are posting because when I even listened to Senator Johnson on Spoon Talk when Amos Toy was there, he said, we are now trying to reach out and see how we can build the kind of consensus that to make we are a one-term president. Who does not want to, like veteran Pia said, who does not want to get vote for Nima? Whether you like it or not, PYJ is popular. Even I listened to the OK conversation with Julius Jer. There are many persons who continue to say, either we support Jeremiah Kun or we support PYJ. And PYJ senatorial bid in April with Hankiapo is still going to win elections. It does not erase the fact that, for me, I support War Crimes Court. But right now, we want to get Weah out of power. And then, whatever the situation is, when the appropriate time comes, Prince Johnson said it's not against War Crime Court. He just said the right thing should be done and everyone else. So for me, these are not the real issue we should be distracted about. We are concerned about how our standard bearer can name a running mate so that we can keep the ball rolling. We reach it out to all opposition members. And then we encourage the vice president not to be deterred. Anybody that can be armed should remain open so that we can get this thing done. Our major concern is to get Weah a bloody note on October 10th. So reaching out to everyone, it does not compromise his integrity. He has not been compromised before. He will never be compromised. I trust him. I believe in him. But we just encourage him, let him continue to reach out. And we are tired waiting for our running mate. Let's make it and start to keep the ball rolling. So it's a complete distraction. It's a good thing that PYJ visited him, and we encourage him to reach out to a lot of people. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jerry. Chupo.
Yes, I will start by saying for the issue of the War and Economic Crimes Court, in recent time when the worst battle was between the two leaders. I'm talking about Senator Prince Johnson and President Weah. The senator made it clear because the president was actually using that as means to scare him off. And the senator made it clear and said, let the War Crimes Court come. We are not afraid. We are actually going there. So, coming now to join or to meet up with the former vice president, I feel that it is a very good style of leadership. You'll be open to people from all sides, be it people against you, people for you, people who did all sorts of things to you. You'll be open up to them. I feel it is something that actually means well. And such person, I feel that they actually have the country at heart and hold nothing against anyone. And for the issue of the War Crimes Court, I strongly believe that the former vice president is actually going to actually make it happen. He's going to sign it. And I believe that Senator Prince Johnson himself is not actually afraid of that. And the senator coming to meet up with the former vice president, I feel it's actually good, and it's a political boost for him. And those people who are actually talking, I feel that they are just afraid because similar person coming to support former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and she won the election. Similar person supported Desi George Manneh Weah, and he won the election. And similar person coming now to support the former vice president. I feel that they are just afraid because looking at his political magnitude in that side of the country, I feel that they are just afraid, and when they're trying to make things happen so that they can actually cause confusion. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll move to Ali, Daniel, and then Pia. But let me just add a little layer to the question before I move to Ali, Daniel, and then Pia. We see that the MDR of Prince Johnson until recently was in an agreement with was in an arrangement with the CDC. It didn't become a news. We also see Joe Howard Taylor, the wife of imprisoned former rebel leader and ex-wife president Charles Taylor. She's the vice president on the CDC ticket. She's considered the mother of the revolution under her husband who ran a criminal syndicate and a despotic regime. We see her there. I don't see anybody have a problem with the fact that Drew is there. The ANC of Cummings donated $50,000 to the Prince Johnson University. This is a privately owned university built by Prince Johnson. It's his private property, so you're donating to him with the hope that he can. It's a quid pro quo as far as we know. We also see people like other people like Louis Brown, McIntosh, and other people who are founding members of the MPFL in other camps across the country. We don't hear news. How come we see this every time Ambassador Boaka is trying to make political moves, it become an issue? Is this a clear sign of hypocrisy, or are people actually honest about what they're saying? Ali, Daniel, then Pierre.
Thank you, Stephen. In this country, we usually shift the goalpost in everything, including politics. Ambassador Boakai is a leader for everyone and not for one person. We are in an election year. When you become president of the country, you become president for everyone, the entire country. There is no law that says this person cannot meet this other person. And before I go forward, I'd like to say that the Unity Party has a very clear-cut position on the issue of war crimes court. And I know this because when I was Secretary General, the National Executive Committee took a vote on that issue, that it is a policy of the UP that we support the establishment of a war crimes court. If you say Ambassador Boakai should not talk to one group of people or a particular person, it's like saying our standard bearer should have a class of people that he should interact with or talk with. That's not how a politician is or should be, especially somebody who wants to be a president for the country. If he begins to falter on the core values of the party and what the Liberian people want, then you can question him. By him entertaining Senator Johnson, or Senator Johnson saying, I want to support you, and Senator Johnson actually comes through and supports him, does that mean that because of Senator Johnson, the standard bearer, if he wins the election, if and when he wins the election, will falter on the party's policy by not advocating for war crimes court? I don't think so. And there is this notion, one time I spoke with Senator Johnson when I talked about, that's how he and I became close. When I talked about war crimes court, gave him my support on Truth FM. He called me, so I told him, I said, Senator Johnson, war crimes court is not for you. There are people who have committed heinous crimes in this country long before maybe you even brought your revolution. And even during your revolution, like you usually say, you only fought for 1 year or so and left the country. But the war, remember, the war raged on for 14 years. And so it is not about you. Normally, when you make it about him, then it becomes an issue. Let it be a general thing that those who committed crimes from either side should be prosecuted. And so for him to visit the standard bearer of the Unity Party, somebody who is poised to become president of this country, I do not see anything with it. Now, some of the people who are running around, some of the people who are running around, they are running behind the same Senator Johnson for support. So why it only becomes a problem when Senator Johnson visits the standard bearer of the Unity Party? Why is now a problem when they donate money to him? Why is now a problem when he supports the CDC? It only becomes a problem.
But when the CDC want him to sign agreement?
Joseph Boakai. Why were the CDC behind him to sign agreement? Why is Joshua Vest now? Because Senator Johnson says he's not supporting him. You think the thing he taught in a church, he now knew it to talk a long time? Well, I did yesterday, he talked about it to say. I know my 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. for the
Daniel,
CDC.
Daniel, let me ask you before you utilize your time. You're in your big camp. You're scared to see Senator Johnson coming around?
Absolutely not. I mean, it's good. It's good I'm here.
Okay.
To set the record straight. And for the most part, I can understand the apprehension from the folks from the CDC and the ANC. I can understand their apprehension because
there are not people alone. There are people in our tendency already.
I said for the most part, I can understand their apprehension, which is justified. If you are going to play a game, of course, I mean, I would not want you to have Ronaldo or Messi on your side. I will have problem to say, oh, the man not qualified, the man is a violation of the rules and everything. So I can understand the apprehension from our friends from the ANC and the CDC. What I don't understand here is the idea that some people who are quote-unquote supporters of JMB will use their various platforms to begin to throw tantrums at Prince Johnson and begin to cast doom on the relationship that has not even given birth yet. All in the name of protecting their perverse political interests. At this point, I don't believe that any of us can govern opposition. I campaigned for Chad Bromsky 2 times, 2011 and 2017. And one lesson I learned from the 2 defeats is that you cannot govern your opposition. You need to win an election in order to govern. So sometimes when people become so overly skeptical and too rational about issues that are purely political, I tend to wonder as to whether they really understand why it takes to be a politician. Yeah, we are. Time in, time out, the voting records are proving that Prince Johnson is a vote magnetizer for Nima. He can gather the vote around any presidential candidate in Nima. Who doesn't want Prince Johnson on his or her side? Everybody wants Prince Johnson. I mean, forget about his war history. I mean, we can have a conversation about that another day, but we're discussing politics now. We're discussing number games. Who can win an election here? So for people to start to govern opposition, I mean, I'm bewildered. I am bewildered. There's absolutely nothing wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong with Senator Johnson trying to reach out to Ambassador Joseph Yima Bwaga, who is now perceived to be the arrowhead of the opposition. And these are the same people who are talking about opposition unity every day. Is Prince Johnson party now a member of the opposition? If you have people defecting from the side of the president coming to the opposition, shouldn't we welcome them? So we be picking and choosing who to welcome in opposition? Eh? It doesn't make sense. I think, like Ambassador Bwaga said on the VOA, he needs to open his arms to everybody. To be seen as a leader who wants to lead a divided country, you have to be receptive to everybody. Now, talking about the policy issues after the elections are won, that's a separate debate. And like Mo said, I'm not too sure that Senator Johnson is fundamentally opposed to the establishment of a war economic crimes court in Liberia. It is not about him. Senator Johnson is in his early or late 70s. This country has got to move on beyond Senator Prince Johnson. We need to set deterrence. So we shouldn't make the issue of war crime court be solely about Prince Johnson. No, it's not about him. It's not about him. So do we want to discuss war crime court in opposition, like the CDC
even
did?
Even people like Jordan could go to the war crime court.
Like the CDC did it, they made war crime court the epic center of the campaign. And when they won an election, it became a totally different ball game. We're not going to do that. Joseph Yima Bwaga want to lead a country on the basis of an agenda that talk about arrest. And so we should tie the debate around the policy issues that have been strong within that agenda. War crime court argument will come at a later date. I'm not too sure war crime court is the reason why the road from here to the southeastern region is deplorable. I'm not too sure war crime court is the reason why the economy is so dilapidated that people cannot even afford to get their own money from the banks. I'm not sure war crime court is the reason why George Weah has failed to deliver his promises on the creation of 1 million jobs for the young people. So there are bread and butter issues that we need to discuss. And the tax, the embarrassment that we has created for this country is going to create a very submaniable tax for the next government. We should now be discussing the policy issue, how a Bwaga-led government do X, Y, and Z to improve the livelihood of the Liberian people. Or to come up to say that for people in CDC who are in blanket with the very people who share blame with Prince Johnson to come and lecture us. When Mr. Cummings was giving Prince Johnson money on a cover to go and build a university, when did they realize that Prince Johnson is a shady character? We're not going to be distracted by that, right? We have to be focused on winning an election. To win an election, you cannot pick and choose. You want even Zogos who can snatch from on Broad Street. You want to vote Joseph Boakai, right? The rapist. If you have change, you open South Beach for all the rapists to jump outside to vote Joseph Boakai. So why are you picking and choosing between vote? When you win an election, then you have the opportunity to govern the country. You can't govern in opposition. So it is absolutely wrong for people to be casting expression and painting a totally different and wrong picture about the meeting between JMB and Joseph Yima Boakai. I think if Prince Johnson are going to JMB with any motive, which didn't appear, okay to him, the office of the vice president wouldn't have issued a statement to welcome his visit and to inform the public. It was not done with any sinister motive. Why are we trying to make a mountain out of a molehill? It is wrong. We must desist. Ambassador Boakai has to embrace everybody. Do you want to drive Prince Johnson away and go so you can go back to George Weah and then sweep all the votes in Nima? Do you want to avoid Prince Johnson and give him Mr. Cummings the opportunity to bring the millions of dollars outside, get him by his side, and cause embarrassment for Boakai in the second round of the election? You don't want that to happen. You don't want that. So let me commend Senator Johnson for reaching out to Ambassador Boakai, and we see no problem with it. It's welcoming.
Thank you. Pierre.
Look, I brought the issue up and I made initial comments. Let there be no mistake about whether we have interest in having people here accountable. We do. But we're in a country, and when it comes to election year, we have voters. We have to understand how the voters think. Have you asked yourself one day as to why, since the war ended, every day we're talking about war, economic crime code, war, economic crime code? Hey, has that come to fruition? You think it's only because Mr. Weah, as president, doesn't want war crime code, why it has not happened? Or Ellen was president, she didn't want war crime code? Or Joseph Boakai be president, he didn't want war. You think why it has not happened? The extent of responsibilities that come with our war crime code requires that no country does it on their own. It requires the backing of the international system. In Sierra Leone, they could not even end the trial process sitting down in Freetown. They had to sit in a court outside of Sierra Leone. Even when they found people guilty, Sierra Leone could not even afford to keep them there. They had to beg other people to keep them in jail in foreign land. Those are all the challenges that come with war and economic crime code. But even with that, the Prince Johnson, all of your concern about, we got only when it comes to Prince Johnson, then we all see war and economic crime code. He has said the last time I listened, he said, I'm over 70 years old. And I'm afraid of war and economic crime code. You're bringing it, we'll go there. That's the last time I heard him talking about war and economic crime code. Because he himself realized that people have been using the war crime code to blackmail him. And he started to call it a quit. But let's ask ourselves this fundamental question. The main man who brought the war in Liberia that led to the death of 250,000 persons was Charles Gange Taylor. Didn't the Liberian poll vote for him with over 80% of the vote cast? If they had kept checking it and they can't even not going to get 100% plus, where were you put when that one happened? Charles Taylor. All the war thing we're talking in Liberia is the one who introduced it. In fact, when people were preaching the same message, they say, oh, you're going to have Taylor killed. Why Liberian poll told you? Say, he killed my mind, he killed my power, we vote for him. And they voted for him massively. Look at how they've been making their decisions. When Prince Johnson was elected for the first time as senator from Nima County, who was the second senator? Another rebel. General Peter Adolfo Dolo. So the poor Nima were clear. They had Nyan Martin, all of your BB boat people you put in the process, they went for the true rebel. George Bode, he led LPC. He killed America, he fell in trouble with the deported in Homeland Liberia. A king's message come with me representative. Right now you are elected representative. Joe Howard Taylor, everybody talking about already. She was the mother of the revolution. The mayor senator 2 times. the vice president. You can hire say you can say we've been here. In fact, we were abused. You can always say he was abused because they were constricted into fighting. The people in Oro and other places said that the men want to be our representative. They voted for him. And all of them, you're okay with them. That's why you have Prince Johnson name and you're running around with all kind of things. Prince Johnson, after October 10, will be senator for 27 freaking years. I only see that thing happening in America where Mitch McConnell there, Joe Biden, and they were in Congress for 30, 35 years. Prince Johnson doing it. If after that 9 years you can't to get, if he still gets strength, age Johnson make him weak and he won't run again, the poor Nima will still vote for him. So it doesn't make sense to panic because you want to support the candidate of your choice. Oh, you better start fooling yourself. If Prince Johnson went to ANC now, they'll be celebrating a big party for 1 month. You see ANC people who acting to you that they're complaining. But Prince Johnson said you're not signing the agreement again with CDC, Joey Alena on the floor, begging. Anybody Prince Johnson go to right now, they were embracing. I'm not saying he has joined JMB, that's not my argument yet. I'm just saying stop fighting a man just on account of a visit to JMB.
Exactly.
You should be happy that is happening because I have the simple who making no every day say opposition or unite. We won't be talking about it. Say all the party will not come together before you do that opposition and unite. So if you say unite, we party man anyway you want to be opposition. And you're going to talk to somebody. They are the simple who say opposition or unite, they'll start complaining. That makes me to wonder why you won.
It speaks to the motive.
Yeah. It makes me to think why you won. And this is how I want to end on this, Stephen, by speaking to JMB directly. JMB got to own up to this process because it is he who wants to be president. I think there are a lot of cracks around his handling. For the point we are now, for example, we should know publicly a spokesperson for JMB who will be speaking to this issue. I said anybody can just speak. Something happening around JMB, you see somebody really chunking it on Facebook before you even see that press release like I can say office of the vice president. JMB needs a form of an official, it doesn't have to be a party structure. More than that, more of a whole national campaign spokesman the last time. Forget about whether you state secretary general. You can say, okay, as we move towards the election until we put a structure together, my official spokesperson for that is Mo Ali. Or is Stephen Johnson, or is it John Brown? So when something happening around, everybody looking up to that spokesman. Because as it is, people doing their own thing based on their proximity to him. It should not be like that. You got to convince the public that when you become president, you'll be your own man. Because some people are already worried about the kind of influence that will be on you. And you can't give them the cost to believe that from based on some of the things we see happening. You got to show to this public that you will be your own person when you become president. Put some structure together now. I can get that one to come in. You got a party through. You established thing coming. You had a chair. You had a this. You had a that. You got veteran librarian General Kazoo drawing as his communication man, speaking on every issue. JP that now while we're working toward the rest of the thing. But that way we'll control some of the many things that are happening around him. And I hope he's listening, all your in-laws are listening, and those who are in his kitchen cabinet currently are listening. We need these practical action to put things under control and get it right. If you say you support JMB, but you got problem with Prince Johnson coming with him, then maybe you want to leave, you leave. But those single person will hold the whole JMB movement hostage because they have personal problem with other people coming on board. And nobody can scare anybody about America. Yeah, every time all the Americans, they're Americans. JMB is no smart man. The vice president event days when the Americans have an issue to talk to him directly, they will not go to MS3. Why the American will not want to talk to Joseph Boakai to come to Jeremy P and say we got this problem? The how Americans operate. You can use America's situation to fear anybody here. They had a whole insurrection in this country. And the one who everybody accused of being the lead of that insurrection is still on the ballot for 2024. Y'all be doing this same thing. Y'all not getting over there. You say war cranko, war kill or desert. You're doing the same thing. If Kia not taking Magere will be easily elected in Magere County as senator. Bill Travis will be elected as Riverside senator. But you're saying that you're looking for clean vote and dirty vote. You say you want Joseph Boakai to be president. Not take it easy, man.
Okay. You know, Pia, when I listen to you guys talk, it reminds me.
I got a report here from Franklin Dodokui on this PYJ
okay,
visit.
yeah.
He sent me a text message report from Nima County. So the first part he talked about that the Seco Construction Company is demanding 13 million United States dollars from the government as they pack off. They've abandoned the road now they were constructing between Ganta and Sakipi because government has not paid them the money. And then he also says Nimbayans welcome PYJ visit to former Vice President Joseph Boakai. Nimbayans welcome PYJ visit to former Vice President Joseph Boakai. That's
interesting topic. Hopefully we'll get him maybe sometime next week to come give us some live update from Nima. But you know what you guys are talking about this whole PYJ visiting Boakai. It reminds me about this saying, you know, like brother say, you know, the stepchild relationship. When the stepchild refuses to wash his hands, thank you for calling. The stepmom say the child dirty. You know, when the child refuses to wash his hands, the stepmom say the child dirty. When the see child decide to wash his hands, the man say the child wasting water. So I don't where you go. you can't get the child off the hook. So Boakai go their way. Oh no, Boakai want meet people. If Papa just sitting down, he doing nothing. The Papa go meet people can't meet the Papa now. Oh, you shouldn't meet the particular person. You know, but I agree with you, Pia. There has to be a structure around the former vice president, especially an official spokesperson, who will be the channel through which all official communication from his office will be communicated. That is very important as we go towards 2023 so that you can have a coordinated messaging because you don't want to give different signals. So you want to have a coordinated messaging.
The man blessed Steven, and I call you the man is blessed with a lot of communicators. You there? Were you not David campaign spokesperson?
Yeah, I was
Mo Ali there. Mo Ali was campaign spokesperson. Henry Costa is there. He's a communicator. By excellent. And Ato Masakwe, he's a LBS Director General. Charles Snyder. The whole list is there of competent and qualified people. Choose one of them. Make Stephen Johnson your spokesperson, or make Henry Costa your spokesperson, or make Mo Ali, or make Ato Masakwe. Make one of these people, let be a structure. Let when people speak so that we know that they are speaking with an authority, not based on proximity. That's the only way you put your movement in order. It has to be in order. That's how you should have put you to govern, because even when you are elected to govern, you got to govern with order. You can't bring the same disorder that we see with the CDC poll that everything chakla according to one musician. Exactly. You got to know that you are man of order. Put things in place. Let have the order. We see too many things flying around with different places where things happening around you. Let's have some order. Let's begin to work on some structure until you reach a point where you establish your national campaign team. You can still have some structures in the interim. That's how you respond. That's how you do the right thing.
It's very important. It's very important, Pierre. Very important that you have a synchronized messaging point so that whenever we want information, we can look up to that person to provide all the information. 2017, Mo Ali spokesperson. I was deputy campaign spokesperson. We had a complete media team. We're going around the country. You know, we need to. But let me just, let's just move to our second conversation. Before the war, in Liberia, we marveled as young people growing up. We marveled at education. When we saw people with terminal degrees, we're very excited. I remember my father used to work at the Ministry of Education, and some of his bosses, the late Theophilus Sompong, Dr. Theophilus Sompong. There were many other people around. At the University of Liberia, you had many seasoned PhD holder from recognized institutions across the globe. Many of them were
Director Colley unwaveringly like one of them. I think I see him.
No. It's good that we are about to talk about this.
No.
Martin Colley talking the point and said that we to start attacking me. I want you guys. I come in and be brother Pierre. Let me have my notes, please. In a second. In a second.
No, listen.
Okay.
You got me wrong because you went different place. Do you know where I was going? I was about to make reference to that formula who you admire and try to imitate. And I follow you and Martin Palmo argument. I'm gonna have that thing. I was trying to say you admire those people with terminal degrees so much so that in everything you do, you try to emulate and imitate that formula.
Exactly. The likes of Dr. Famule, Dr. Tipote, Dr. Sawyer, Dr. Tipote, Dr. Famule. Dr. Dutour were missing. These were people who grew up. We marvel at the education, the level of intellect, and the role they play in the educational sector of our country. At the university, seasoned professor, well qualified for some of the best of schools, Fulbright scholars. But since the war, there has been this trend in our country. Many persons want to be considered educated, but they're not prepared to go through the rigor of the classroom. And so we've seen the proliferation of degrees from under the World Trade Center on Center Street. And many persons will go there, use microwaves, and produce PhDs. Some of them will be doing PhD in law school, working full-time, and taking care of children. And so we've seen that happen. For the last couple of years, we've witnessed many of these people coming around with a degree. I was very impressed when I saw my own brother Jerry from the Korean Development Institute. When he graduated, we were all proud of him. We cheer him. When Komepia graduated from one of the best schools on the planet, Harvard, we all cheer him. Mo Ali went to London, graduated. We all cheer him. And so we've seen over time some of our young comers who have also played a very pivotal role in acquiring education. The likes of Samuel Toh, Dr. Samuel Toh, Abi Yang, Ibrahim Yang, PhD. We saw the rigor of the classroom. Some of these guys could not even afford to cut their hair. That's how tense PhD program were. But nowadays we've seen a lot of time people sitting in Monrovia, drink beer, chill, get a full-time job in 3 schools, getting 2, 3, 4 PhD, like a walk in the park, like a piece of cake. And then we wonder, is it actually that we have geniuses? Or is this also that the programs, they're so tailored in ways that it's not challenging? Even in graduate school, I know the rigor of graduate school. I myself have 2 graduate degrees. I know the rigor. How many times we sit to write papers? How many times we come to class to present papers? Every day you come to class, there's an argument. Either you present a paper, a general class discussion, you're writing papers, you're countering your friends, you either agree or disagree on topical issues and all of that issues. So we saw it. So this morning we witnessed the resignation of 2 presidents from 2 of our nation's universities. One, the AME University on Kemp Johnson Road, and the AME-CU University on Benson Street. So I will not say doctor now. Alvin Atta, who is and let me just for the record say, Alvin Atta is my pastor. I'm a member of the Eliza Turner AME Church on Kemp Johnson Road. Is the church that I attend full time. I was born and raised in that church, got baptized. I'm a full member of the Eliza Turner African Methodist Episcopal Church on Kemp Johnson Road. So Reverend Atta is my pastor. At the same time, he's the president of the university. So let me just make that clear. Now, then the other institution is the AME-CU by Benjamin Latte. We've been hearing this Latte name for the last 20 years. I've been hearing that name, Benjamin Latte, Reverend Dr. Benjamin Latte. All through when we were growing up, we heard that name. We woke up this morning and 2 of them resigned. And this has been the advocacy of none other but our own Martin Colley and his friends, group of guys who dedicated themselves to fighting fraud in academia, to fighting to create a system that rewards hard work, that rewards people on the basis of a meritocracy, that values people's dedication and their commitment to academics, that pay people based on the fact that they deserve to be paid. You know, so when we see people using the elevator to acquire a PhD instead of taking the stairs, it becomes an issue that to all concerned. Our educational system is in total chaos. Our universities, our high schools, our elementary and junior high school are producing students that cannot compete globally. And many of us graduate from the university and cannot even write a paper. And many students you watch on Facebook to even write a sentence. Many of our students struggle because the foundational basis upon which most of the education is firm upon was compromised. And I've often said this, and I say this without any disrespect to our current generation. Many of us who went to school in the 80s, elementary school, people who went to school in the 80s, the last generation of people who went to school in the 80s, by extension, somewhere in the early 90s because of the system was still there, have stronger foundation. It's a fact. Have stronger foundation. There were people who stopped in 9th grade. But when you listen to them, when you read what they write, you compare them, you just oppose that to people who graduating today with honors. For instance, Jefferson Koji graduated cum laude from the university. Look, like Ali, when we were at the university, to make A, would you know what it cost us to make A? It means you didn't sleep. It means you didn't sleep. For you to make A at the university, it means you didn't sleep. Because you didn't go there, breeze through the university, graduated cum laude. You know what I mean? To graduate with cum laude from LU when we were at the university? To the extent that basic English, this is not just, nobody wants you to be verbose when you come and use big words. Nobody wants that. No, nobody say you should be verbose, you should be talking all kind of people you want. Nobody wants that. But there are basic things that you will know. For you to graduate with honor, there are basic things you must know. If you went to university and sincerely graduated with honor, there are basic things that you will know. Subject verb agreement, sentence structure. These are basic things that you ought to know. And so we've seen it. We've seen a compromised educational system. Many persons graduating and cannot defend their degrees. Even the vice president of the Republic of Liberia, Joe Howard Taylor, one of her master's degree, Martin then wrote a big research on it, that she did not have a master's degree, that she attended a seminar program in banking and something and called it a master's degree. For the longest, Joe Howard Taylor has been parading that she has a master's in finance. I have an MBA. One of my degrees is an MBA. I know the rigor of what we went through to acquire an MBA. My second degree is in public policy. And so we know these things. We know these things. And so when we see it, what is happening to our country, my people? The country is corrupt. The government is irresponsible. And then our educational system is in total mess. When you look at all of these things, and this is a question to all of us on this platform, when you look at all of these things, aren't you afraid for Liberia? Let's forget about the elections in October. Let's look at the future of Liberia, the generation that will come after us. Majority of them riding keke. They're not in school, especially the guys. Most of them are Zogos. Educational system weak. Our teachers are not qualified. The classroom are not up to date. Our students can't compete globally, even regionally, they can't. When you see this and you look at the future of Liberia after us, when we shall have all retired, aren't you worried? Shouldn't you be afraid when you think about Liberia after you and looking at the current generation of leaders that are behind you? Aren't you worried? Yeah, somebody talking about 17 continents. How can you graduate from honor university? You don't know how many continents. These are basic things. that you're supposed to learn in high school. Solid high school education. You will know basic things, geography, all the things. We were in geography class, Ali there. We used to carry thread and ruler to draw contour lines and measure it and do all kind of calculation, things we never even will see in our life. But we're part of the curriculum, and we persevere. We study hard, went to school, and showed that we graduated. And today we are here, making our contribution to not just our workplaces, but to academia. So guys, let's have this conversation. Let's look at this thing. Let's look at our educational system. Thanks to Martin and the team. Thanks to everybody who's been contributing to ensuring that we fixed Liberia.
Recommendations.
We are in 2023. We're moving. We are in October, but we have to fix the country. So let's have this conversation.
Suggestion, Stephen.
Yeah, Pia, go ahead.
Start with Darlington because he gets something like a mountain rabbit around his neck. So let's start with him.
Okay. So Darlington will lead the conversation on from Darlington. Let's go. So for
Big Brother Pia.
Right. Pastor Mo, let me get the order. From you, I'll go to Pastor Mo, I'll go to Jerry, I'll go to Chupa, Daniel, Ali, and then Pia. But guys, we gotta pay attention to time. So let be clear. Let's take 3, 6, 9, 12. We'll take 2 minutes each so that we can go to the line to take some calls.
It will be good if you give me a little more than 2 minutes, please. Little more than 2 minutes, please.
That's fair enough, Stephen. It's only a random man make. That's fair enough.
I'll get 3 minutes.
Because you want more than 2 minutes, my man.
Yeah. Let me begin by and thank you, Stephen. I think you clearly set the basis of the argument, right? And to be honest, there are many times, a couple of times, in my most recent Facebook posting, I've always commended, Brother Martin K.M. Colley and his organization for what they are doing for our country, especially unearthing people with fake degrees, because you have this, country somewhere in sub-Saharan Africa on the West Coast where people come, to the West, some of them they register online, and you clearly put it, they have these half-baked university degrees. They microwave their degrees, in fact, the Uber Eats degree, their degrees are swiftly packaged and delivered. Like sometimes they come with the big titles to scare people. But quite recently, and one of the things I try to do in academics is even your teacher that has been teaching you for many, many years. There are times they put topic and you ask them, you say, no, you have the right to disagree. I've been following for quite some time now, over a year. The first time, Brother Martin Colley, and I applaud his organization for the resignation of these two university presidents who have resigned. Martin came up with this report on Reverend Patmo, saying that Reverend Patmo have a fake degree. I don't just normally jump to defend people on social media. Many of you follow me on social media. I started to investigate. I started to ask critical questions. And it just so happened that Reverend Patmo's son is one of my very good friends. Most of the time we're together. So I said, my man, what is this thing with your pa that is in hot water with fake degrees? The man said, no, that is not what happened. If a Patmo's son said, and Martin report is just based off, Dr. Patmo's Facebook profile. And a lot of these, Dr. Patmo is pretty much an elderly guy. A lot of these old people, some of them, they're not very familiar with social media. So the guy who set up his Facebook page apparently mistake his doctorate in ministry and put doctorate in education. And Brother Patmo's son, corrected that and said, no, that's, the man who set up my Facebook account, that was stupid. In fact, over a year, if you can recall, Stephen, Big Brother Pia, and even Darius Delon can bear me with this.
You're not reading your own Facebook profile to know that data education was there?
No, I'm coming. So it was rectified. That's what I'm letting you know now, Big Brother. A lot of people who did computer science, Stephen just said, a lot of people can't even put computer on. And you understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying a lot of people, technology, they are not very friendly with technology.
So that is scan you have right your neck.
I'm not friendly with technology, but if somebody take my profile and say, Stevie got PhD in quantum physics, right? If somebody take my profile picture, no, let's see, Dalito, just 1 second. Right. if somebody, I know I'm not technology, I'm not savvy, technology savvy, but if somebody if I give my profile for somebody to update, and they wrote that Stephen Johnson, PhD, quantum physics,
right,
and I allowed that to slide for a couple of years, am I not an accomplice?
No. I can't
because I know I don't have a degree in quantum physics.
I agree, and that was rectified. I mean,
how long before it was rectified?
I think less than I can be specific with time. No, honestly, I can be specific with time on how long it was rectified. But that's beside the point. So the issue,
but
right?
Is the doctorate degree in divinity an academic degree?
It is. What is an academic degree?
Yeah,
it is. It is. People all the time go to theology school. University offer theological degrees. It's an academic degree. So let me say this for the record, and I know.
But then the question is, and I know you're not putting on defense for people with fake degree. I know you're just trying to defend a particular person. But let me just ask this question. Many of us on this, all of us on this platform here, we've been to school, right?
Right.
And the question I want to ask is, how come people degree become like nobody will question my degree? I mean, nobody will wake up one day and say, "Well, I still graduated from college." It will never happen.
Stevie.
The reason, listen, and I'm coming, and you will talk. The reason it will not happen is because a lot of people know us, right? They've seen us. They know we went to school. Me and Ali graduated from high school. Me and Ali graduated from LU. We went overseas. We did our masters. We graduated. People see all the things. So no one day Martin will not wake up one day and say Stephen has a fake degree. Martin will never do it. But how come it is happening to people? What is Martin will not wake up one day and say Dr. Sawyer didn't have a PhD, or Dr. Famula did not have a PhD.
Mm-hmm.
So when it becomes an issue where Martin now is just what is driving him to specific people to see that and to have questionable degree. Wow. What do you think?
Stephen, and I put it quite right. In investigating people with degrees, everybody's degree will be brought on the microscope. And I will not be surprised that even some of us who are friends to Martin will start to dig deeper into our academic credential. It must be
right behind me there. You see my Penn State, certificate on the wall there?
I see. See where my man. You're asking me question. Yeah. You get me chance. So let me be clear, but that's not Martin's, that's not the CACC argument. The argument is they acknowledge because the school Dr. Padmore graduated from wrote, Asbury University wrote, saying that Dr. Padmore have a doctorate in ministry. Okay? Fast forward, Dr. Padmore also holds a doctorate degree in Christian school administration from the Louisiana Baptist University. The ministry, no, I come in now, Stephen, everybody may not go to finance, banking, finance, economics, and law. If Dr. Padmore is a Methodist,
But read what somebody telling you. Read what somebody telling you. Read the screen.
They say what? Doctorate in ministry is not an academic degree. So Stephen, man, come on. Then why
you not me saying it? It's agree. I don't know. That's why I
because Stephen. I'm not saying you will use a doctorate in ministry to get a job in an academic environment. Let's go back to the Ministry of Education, policy on people who hold, people who serve in as vice president of university. The Ministry of Education have issued a memo saying that people who have Mr. Stevie, why are you sharing this thing? Besides, right? Listen. I know people try to be funny. There's very serious business here.
She's right. And she's right. People bleaching their profile now. People going down.
Stevie, let me end my nose now. Martin Colley made it to say, Amen. Martin Colley made it to say, oh, Talento defending a friend part. Even Martin Colley and myself, we grew up in the Sierra. He's my friend. As well, I know his father is a pastor too. So, to say something about his part, and I have the facts. Now, come and be brought up here. I have the facts. It's fair enough to come on and
is it one of the courses? Is it one of the courses that men Padmore did for a doctorate degree that organizing devotion and evening service? Is it like one of the courses?
Come on, man. All of you claim to be religious people. I come here. I know you want to make it fun, but just to say this, Dr. Padmore's son have challenged Martin Colley to a debate.
Okay,
on
let's
this
bring
issue.
them.
And the platform is open. Dr. Palmer
Yeah, we
is
can
also
host
a
them,
PhD. Is also a PhD student. He's willing to come. He will call on the show here to clarify
No,
issues
he
surrounding
got
the
a lot of
No,
platform.
we can bring
we're
him
not
back
call. We're bringing Martin on to
No, he will call.
I hope it's not the same school with
I
Padre
see-
that
I
phone.
see him.
I hope not the same school with
Before
Padre
the
that
court-
phone.
No, I see him here. I see I see a plateau, right? That's his son, right?
A Plato Padmo, yeah. So Martin
Yeah,
Collins
we
should
can bring him
the
back
argument
on.
of
Let
saying
him have that
Darlington
conversation.
defending a friend part.
We can bring
The
him Martin on
society-
next
the
week. Let him
society-
have that conversation.
Let me say this. Martin Collins' advocacy about academic credential should not, I think it is good, but if
That's
care
not
is not
what it-
taken, there is propaganda on our tune beyond this.
No, but
I'm coming.
Martin?
Stephen,
Darlington, one minute.
Let me end it. Okay,
One minute. You just slipped terribly. You're a young man. If in the course of standing in the gap for your friend father, you classify Darlington, I mean,
Martin doesn't have all of the facts. The university wrote a communication to say,
will you listen to me?
Why?
It's a step to classify their work as propaganda. If you have a disagreement on a particular thing because you have facts that can disprove what they did, it doesn't bring you to the point of classifying the good work they've done as propaganda. That's a slip. A young man like you, I don't want you to say that. Yeah, but don't say what you just said.
That's my opinion, Steve. That's my opinion. I may be wrong.
It's a terrible opinion, and I have an obligation as an editor to guide you. It's a terrible opinion.
I understand.
Steven, can we make progress?
Yeah, that's important.
Let make progress. I'm telling you, in 2 minutes.
Steven, I mean, just before I leave him, so let us spend all the time on Padmo.
Yeah, I'll go to the line.
You specifically mentioned two persons in your prelude. Dr. Atta and Latte, who resigned based on Collins' work.
I graduated from Amy Zion University, so I think we gotta talk about the guy from Amy Zion University too.
Yeah, let's talk about Atta. Let's keep the conversation Atta and Latte.
So let me end my notes now. So that is my opinion. I have commended the CSCC work. I say the guys are doing very good. It is good that they should go ahead and unearth more fake degrees. But what I'm also advising on is that Martin Collins and his team exercise more due diligence and that they do not drift from the facts and slip into propaganda. That is my opinion.
Okay, thank you. Hold that. But let me just say here that
all
of the people that the CSCC have gone after, they are not politically exposed persons. So they don't say they have any. In these institutions, no, Stephen Johnson. In this institution, private university, there are internal office politics that play. So there could be some good people who could be blended with this propaganda. And it's good that Martin has assumed Dr. Padmo credentials. If the UMU investigates, if the UMU investigates Dr. Padmo and found out that his degree is fraudulent, let Padmo resign. If Martin comes on and says Stephen Johnson did not graduate from LU, right? If Martin comes on and says Stephen did not graduate from LU, I just present my LU. I just published my LU. I have Padmo degrees yet. I can show you. So there's no propaganda about it. No, but Martin must replace the propaganda with facts. There's the facts here. Let's move to Ali. The school let us, Stephen. You see the degree? You see the degree there? You can post it. We'll post it on Facebook so we can look at it. Yeah, well, we need to post it. The school wrote a letter to say that Dr. Padmo has a doctorate in ministry from Asbury University. Then Martin said,
"Is there an academic degree? Is there an academic degree?"
Okay, let me program. Ali, Daniel.
What is doctorate in ministry?
What is the law on people becoming vice president for administration?
What is ministry? Doctorate in ministry. What is ministry?
Running church.
Handling church affairs. Yeah.
So where is Dr. Padmo right now? What brought his issue? Where is he?
He's the vice president of administration at the UMU.
Why you go run here? You go do 5 points for administration business.
No, but UMU is a no. Let me serious here. UMU is a Methodist university in the church owned. It is no problem if they choose to allow one of their reverends to go and occupy that position who have understanding in ministry administration. He's not a vice president for academic affairs. He's not the one deciding curriculum.
So he has a degree in administration or ministry.
Yes, he has another PhD from the Louisiana Baptist University in Kentucky.
In what?
In divinity.
In PhD in Christian school administration. UMU is a
Christian school administration.
Yes, UMU is a Christian school. Bro.
So no, not just that. He should be in a capacity. He should be running a theological institution, not an academic.
UMU offers theological degrees. That's what I'm trying to say to you.
But he's not dean of the theological department. He's vice president for blah 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 for the whole school.
Administration of the university. Administration.
Listen to me. You got to understand something. You're dreading to something that you don't understand will be bad for you.
No, but you get me there.
There are universities that exist purely as theological institutions. Like I know the OG Bible College.
The Baptist Seminary.
Yeah, Baptist Seminary. Not a 100% theological institution. So that degree fits in there. In an academic institution, what Daniel Sano kept asking you, it's an academic degree. He asked you that question for a purpose. So not because he have that degree in some ministry administration, meaning you can go and play that role in a purely academic school.
What does the Ministry of Education? What does the Ministry
why
of Education?
Rabbi, no disrespect to you. Rabbi, they let to be called Rabbi Doctor. Why Rabbi they let to be called Rabbi Doctor?
Yeah, people. Give me a the man is administration, the man is academic affairs.
Darlington, and Becky, you spend 1 hour defending.
Martin Walker on the show.
Hello. Darlington, you spend 1 hour defending something that is not right. In the first place,
Pia, call Martin. Martin keeps calling him. Just call him.
I will start up with Pat Moore. He said he's vice president for administration. He has no education in administration. His education is in ministry, running a church.
He has a PhD in administration.
Akami. You are talking 1 hour. Then he's vice president for administration to an institution that is granting academic degrees all over the place. You know, Stephen Johnson in his premise talked about why our education system is going down. One, you've got people parading around here calling themselves doctors who just went and got honorary doctorate degrees. As a matter of fact, you go to AME Zion, they give you honorary doctorate degree. AME Zion that is not producing even a master's degree. They give you honorary doctorate degree. You depend on that to go look for a job. And I was speaking with Dr. Nye on the same issue tonight when I saw it about Alvin Atta. Alvin Atta is a very close friend of mine. And I felt very terrible. These guys who went through the real curriculum to get a doctorate degree, our very young colleagues, Samuel Toole, Ibrahim Nyang, many of them, they feel very terrible that people who have not gone through the same rigorous academic training that they went through, and they parade around here and getting jobs on fake degrees.
Mo Ali, 1 second. Let me bring on Martin K. and Colin, since he was a factor of discussion and reference many times by young comrade Darlington Collins. So, Martin, you are on the line. People listening to you.
Thank you, Mr. PRO, for taking me on. And thanks to Stephen and everyone in studio, including Mo Ali. As we discuss the future of our country, it is important for us to be honest and sincere. I just listened to Darlington, and you can see how he's even struggling to defend what is indefensible. The first thing I want to deal with is the issue of Louisiana Baptist University. Everyone who is listening tonight, I want you to Google Louisiana Baptist University. It is not accredited. It is not accredited by the United States Department of Education. It is not recognized by any of the accreditation agencies of CHE, the Council of Higher Education in the United States of America. Darlington does not even know all these things, and he wants to argue about something he doesn't know. All the facts are on my Facebook page. Why is he not reading? Go to one of his comments on my Facebook post. He even agreed with me that the Louisiana Baptist University is fake. Now he argues on your show.
That's not true. That's not true. I never agree with you on that. That's not true. I will not be here, Martin.
You have a chance to respond. You can't throw it in the top room. Just wait. Go ahead. Go ahead, Martin.
So the point I'm making is, Mr. Padmore said to us that he has Doctor of Education from the Louisiana Baptist University. What did we do? We thoroughly investigated. Our first point of investigation is to establish the authenticity of the institution that one claims to have gotten his or her degree from. Is Louisiana Baptist University authentic? Have they been authorized to grant credentials or to award credentials? The answer is no. Louisiana Baptist University is a Bible study school. It's an online Bible study school. Mr. Padmore said right in Monrovia, claiming to have been with PhD. How can you deceive the country like that? How can you deceive the Methodist Church you fight? How can you deceive students of UMU in such manner? The second thing I want to say is about his quote-unquote Doctor of Ministry. I want everyone to go on the website of Asbury Seminary, right? I told Darlington he needs to understand the academic fundamentals. How can you do 24 credit hours and you are claiming to have gotten PhD or doctorate degree? 24 credit hours, you're talking about 8 courses. Darlington doesn't even understand what he's talking. So even do dissertation is about 21 credit hours, Darlington. You don't know these simple things. And you want to argue on public radio. Just to embarrass yourself, Darlington, as a young man. So the point I want to make to you is, you are claiming quote-unquote letter from the school. You know, look at the courses of the school, in fact. You're talking about religious formation. You're talking about homiletics. All of these courses are faith-based. They are spiritual related. If Mr. Padmore wants to lead, he should go at the Baptist Seminary or the Methodist Seminary. His duty is to organize evening services. His duty is to serve as chaplain. If you go to the duties, right, of the Doctor of Ministry, the duties are clearly spelled out. Number one, either you are a pastor. Number two, either you are a chaplain. Number three, either you are a spiritual leader. They did not say you should operate in an academic environment. This morning, I uploaded all the proofs. The Doctor of Ministry cannot operate in an academic environment, especially in the context of the United States law. Darlington does not understand all of these facts. We try our best to weed out academic fraud and fake credentialists because these people have undermined the integrity and impeccability of our education system for years. Look at the system today. The system is not producing anything. In the context of economics, education is a perfectly inelastic commodity. Therefore, emphasis must be placed on quality and not quantity.
So, Darlington will have a chance to respond, but let me ask you this question. The foundation of our discussion on the topic was based on the resignation of Reverend Atta and Dr. Latte. Let me ask you this question. Did their resignation come as a result of findings from your group or the work of your group? If so, what did you find out about them?
So in the case of Reverend Atta does not have any doctorate degree. He does not have any PhD. Let me tell you what happened.
Right.
In 2021, the Board of Trustees appointed Reverend Atta as president of the AME University. For him to have signed those credentials of graduates of the AME University, he had to be some kind of doctor. So they conferred that degree on him at that very graduation before he could sign the documents. That's what happened. And this is fraud. The church in Liberia should be free of fraud. The religious environment should be of integrity. How can you give Mr. Atta a doctoral degree when he doesn't deserve it? Name one university in the sub-region, right, where you have a president with only a master's. Masters teaching, masters. Masters supervising, masters. It doesn't make sense. We have to improve the system. We have to fix it. In the case of Reverend Benjamin Latte of the AME Zion University, it is the same thing. Doctor of Divinity. Doctor of Divinity is not to be used in an academic environment. It is not an academic-based credential. No. It is just an honorary degree. It is just like somebody is a warring veteran PR for probably donating to his community. How can that be equated to an academic credential? And he's serving as president of the AME Zion University. What can you tell others who have honorary credentials? The students are being deceived. The future of our country is being stolen. This has got to stop. And the campaigners for academic crimes code will spare no one. There will be no sacred cow in this national campaign to promote academic integrity, ensure fair competition, and optimize public-private productivity.
Finally, I heard you saying something about the other incoming or current president of Grand Crew University or what? Grand Crew, whatever it is. What is it within?
Grand Crew Community College. So yesterday, the people of Grand Crew wrote us. They are currently carrying out recruitment and elective exercise for new president of the Grand Crew Community College. So they wanted us to verify the academic credentials of Mr. Shalom Nimini because he was poised to become the next president of the college. And we did just that. Go on my Facebook page and read our findings. The facts are preponderant. The facts are ironclad. They cannot be challenged.
You conducted an academic surgery.
Stevie is asking whether you conducted an academic fraud surgery.
Oh, yes, definitely. Get credential surgery on his credentials. and guess what? He is saying clean 4 academic credentials, right? Number 1, an AA. Number 2, BA. Number 3, masters. And number 4, PhD. And all of those credentials were just disqualified by the CACC after our investigation.
All the 4 degree fake?
All 4 fake.
How you are going to run whole community college now?
We're joking with academics, Eli, bro. We're joking.
Can we give
Martin, if you intend to stay on, let you hear from
Before I respond, can we give Reverend Padmoson chance to respond to Martin?
Yeah, you can put it on his screen. No.
So go ahead.
Martin, please listen to Reverend Padmoson.
Then I'll comment on that. Aplato, go ahead. You on the show.
Aplato, go ahead.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate the opportunity that all of us can come and discuss some of the issues that we all agree are significant to the progress of our country. And I also want to commend Martin Collin. I think I did this sometimes last year, and his organization for the fight against academic crimes in our country. But in commending Martin and his organization, I want to also be clear that it is a treacherous method to use the continuation of something to put an end to that. So we cannot be fighting academics, right? By trying the issue with Patrick from Ashbury, we had a conversation about that. And I think Darlin John attempted to make a clarity, but it wasn't as clear. We came up and we said
Dr. Palmer did not in any way obtain any doctorate from Asbury in strategy of leadership because it wasn't offered. However, he did obtain a doctorate in ministry from Asbury. We provided a link to Dr. Chukwu Palmer's dissertation. These are simple Google searches. My argument was Martin made his research on Dr. Chukwu Palmer's credentials just off his Facebook page. And if we do stuff like that, if we trying to fight crimes and we use social media, if we're trying to fight academic crimes and we use individual social media as a concrete evidence and not digging further, it puts all of us in a slippery hole. And I said, well, if you just Google Dr. Chukwu Palmer's name, you Google Asbury Theological Seminary or Asbury University, you will see that he even has his dissertation published on the internet. And Martin came back and said, this is not strong. Well, I'm not a seminarian. I'm not a theologian. I did not even read a dissertation. I don't have time to scrutinize a theological paper. But it does not negate the fact that the individual on the question that Chukwu Palmer went to Asbury University. Now,
Plato, I have a question for you. Are you conceding here that the information on your dad's Facebook page was a misrepresentation of the facts?
Yes, and for clarity's sake, even though on Dr. Chukwu Palmer's Facebook page you had a different thing, if you were to go back to UMU graduation programs or any credential that has spelled out an Asa Chukwu Palmer's name and his credential attached, you will see these. You will never go back from 2014 to 2015 up to present. Go back to all of the United American University graduation program. You will never see anything called that in the leadership because it does not exist. All of the
I have another question
all of the schools.
Yeah, go ahead, Stephen. He's listening.
So, Plato,
yeah, he's listening.
You're a young man. I admire you. I see that you recently enrolled in a PhD program, I think at Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
At Vanderbilt University. Very, very good school. When you look at what you do at Vanderbilt currently and you just oppose that to the kind of quality we need for our institution, our academic institution in Liberia, how do you reconcile that to the fact that we have very qualified people who can serve in these academic institutions and make more meaningful contribution, but at the same time we are usurping that responsibility and function from them and giving it to people who have discipline that are completely a far cry from the kind of institutional or discipline that we need to move Liberia, especially our educational sector, in ways that it benefits the general population of our people. How do you reconcile that?
Well, I think one way or the other, all of us who are on this call, including Martin Colley and Daniel Colley and Martin Colley, all of us can agree that, especially for those of us who've gone through a graduate program in the U.S. or overseas, and now me, for example, who's doing my doctorate, and some of you guys who went to good schools across the world, we can all empathize with the situation that we do in fact want to ensure that our country is on the rightful trajectory, that we have the people who are qualified and capable enough to transform our educational sector in our country. All of us can agree to that. And it's also frustrating. And again, before the issue, I am not attacking Martin. I want to establish, I'm not attacking Martin Colley because he's attacking the Chukwu Palmer. No, I'm just setting the record straight. Whether the policy says that Chukwu Palmer should, based on his degree, he should not be at the UMU, fine. That's a whole different argument. My point has always been Dr. Chukwu Palmer did, in fact, go to Asbury Theological Seminary. I don't care. The argument whether he should be in that is a whole different argument. The argument was, I was just setting the record straight. Get the record straight.
So there's another degree. There's another degree from another school, and we've been told that school is not does not have an accreditation. There's another degree from another school. I think Darlington talked about it. When you look at part of the reason why people question other people's credentials is the fact that in law they say anything that is not done legal is not done at all, and that fraud in one thing raises the doubt, or that speculations about fraud in one thing, raises doubt about other things. Don't you think that's a fair argument anybody will make, that because one of the other degree, 1, 2, the misrepresentation of the fact on his Facebook page that was established by himself, 2, will mean that there are reasons why people will speculate?
But just because you speculate does not mean you should not do the due diligence. Anybody can speculate. You can come to a conclusion or ensure that your conclusion is on fact. So just because one thing about you is wrong, that does not mean everything about you is wrong. So just because you speculate about one thing, it does not mean you cannot do your due diligence.
Yeah, but it's a past behavior. It's a good predictor of future behavior.
Your argument, I didn't get you, sir.
I said they're saying that past behavior is a good predictor of future behavior.
Stevie, my argument has been, and it will always be, if we are trying to ensure that we have a system of accountability and transparency and merit, right? We must do it to the fullest. We cannot be doing certain things here and there. We cannot just say certain things because we have a platform and we think it's all law and gospel. No. And the issue about whether a professional degree can lead an institution, that argument it shouldn't even hold any credence, because yes, a professional degree can lead an institution. It's like you're telling me because you have a law degree, you cannot lead an institution. It's like you're saying because you have you are an MD or a medical doctor, you cannot lead an institution. When we have institutions in this country, in the US, whose president, for an example, had Juris Doctorate, for an example. They are lawyers, those are professional degrees, but they are leading institutions.
Plato, are you doing this because he's your father, or you doing it out of the fact that you want to see a better Liberia?
I've been clear. I have been clear that this is a fight. All of us are doing the same thing, but with a different medium. This is a fight to ensure that our country is on the right trajectory with our rightful leaders in our country. Even
Stevie, let me come in.
Let me hold you there. Let me hear from Martin.
Let me come in because
I think I need to respond to Martin too as well.
You got to wait, because Martin was initially responding to you because you made some assertions here. So now he has listen. Okay. Now he has listened to Mr. Palmo's song, so he want to respond to Mr. Palmo's song. After that, you can do your response. But let me just also say, Martin has indicated to me that this intervention online is not sufficient. He's prepared to sit with Reverend Palmo's son on Monday on the show. If Mr. Palmo's son is interested.
Plato, you available on Monday?
I'm available for the thing. I'm available. I mean, a few months ago, in July last year, when this acquisition came up, I openly invited Martin to a conversation. Apparently now it seems like he can only have a conversation with me when certain folks are involved. But hey, what's the issue, right? The issue again,
we can bring you guys on here on Monday to have that conversation.
So Monday here, Martin will be our guest, but let's listen to Martin's response to what he just said. Martin, go ahead.
Thank you. Quite frankly, Liberians everywhere are listening. And in these conversations, only proof and facts will survive. So the first thing I want to make clear is we have two different responsibilities. Number one was to check whether Mr. Patmo's claim to a doctor of education from the Louisiana State University was a valid claim. And we established that it was invalid. Darlington and his friend have agreed with us that yes, indeed, degree number one is invalid. So let's move to degree number two. They are no longer arguing about it.
You got all over the place.
That's fraud number one.
Plato, hold on. You have time to respond. Hold on.
Hello?
Go ahead, Martin.
There is a popular legal doctrine that says fraud vitiates. Right, so they need to understand that one fraud overwhelms all other, whether it's valid or invalid. The next point I want to make is you cannot come to the show and tell us that we should go and look for Mr. Patmo's dissertation fact, let's go to Asbury Seminary, right? Let's go to their website. Let's go to their website and see the credits or the courses they are offering. There's nothing like dissertation, right? 24 credit hours. I just told Darlington that even in a master's program, to write your dissertation, it requires at least 21 credit hours. How can you do 24 credit hours and you are boasting about a doctorate degree or a doctoral degree? It doesn't make sense anywhere. Plato, we have to set the record straight and be honest with our people. There are a lot of academics in the country with legitimate PhD. Why is Mr. Palmer depriving them? Why is he robbing them of the opportunity to serve in such an academic environment like the UMU? So he does not meet the minimum qualification or standard that has been set forth by the National Commission on Higher Education. We should not even be discussing this. If you look at the scope, right, of the quote-unquote doctor of ministry that he's claiming to have obtained from the Asbury Seminary, it's clear. Either you go to preach, either you go to lead a church, or either you serve as a chaplain. It didn't say you should go to an academic institution as a researcher or a vice president for administration. We are undermining the credibility of the system that we created. So, Mr. Patmo's first credential as a doctor of education from the Louisiana Baptist University is fake. It's fake, and I challenge them to prove me otherwise. They won't. His second credential, quote-unquote doctor of ministry, does not meet the minimum qualification of our system. Systems do vary, right? Systems do vary. You cannot compare the education system in America with our system. The American education system is stronger, is viable, credible, and transparent. So even if you take the 12th grader to lead, he will do better. But look at the structure of our education system. It's very weak. It's porous. It's porous. Look at the results we are getting out of our education system as I speak to you right now. Very poor. Our students are performing poor. Lecturers are performing poor. And the only reason is because we have refused to stick by the standards. Go to Severlieu. Go to the Fort Howard University. The man who currently serves as the vice president for administration has an academic PhD. He doesn't have doctor of ministry. Doctor of ministry is intended to plant churches. If Mr. Palmer wants to serve the Methodist church, he should be planting churches in Nigeria.
All right, so Stephen, since you're bringing that on Monday, and our show, almost the whole show is going. I know you gave your response, but we're allowing Martin to go now because he and your friend.
He and Aplato coming on Monday. Aplato, I will send a link to Darlington to send it to you.
Yeah, Stephen.
All right. So Aplato and Darlington will come. I mean, and Martin will come on Monday. But Darlington, you can respond to.
So, yeah, you know what I will do? I will reach out to Dr. Toe. I'll reach out to Samuel Toe and see whether we can get Samuel Toe on the panel too to be part of us. I'll reach out to him and see.
Even that that Moali friend, Moali can find that
Yeah, so that we can have a very good academic. Let them tell what it means to get PhD.
Let me say this, Stephen. I begin this conversation by applauding the tremendous efforts of Martin Colley and his organization in unearthing academic crimes. In the same token, it is also important when we believe that Martin Colley is coming to the conversation clearly on the basis of sentiments and not facts. I challenge this, and I stand to be corrected on this. There is no law in our country that says that to serve as vice president for administration at a private university, you must have a terminal academic degree. The memo I read from the Ministry of Education says that you must have a PhD. That's what the memo says. So UMU is a Christian-owned university. He's not president at the university. Patmo is not president at the University of Liberia. That is state-funded and state-owned. I understand that UMU receives subsidies, but it is squarely the property of the United Methodist Church. And this organization will always put for stewards, people who they believe are capable enough to run the administrative framework of the church. Mind you, Padmore comes to the United Methodist administrative arm as secretary, former secretary of the Liberal Annual Conference, and to the bishop of the church. So these institutions, they are not the state-owned. They will always appoint people who will be stewards and be their eyes and ears in those kinds of administrative positions. I am saying to Brother Martin Colley that just because you have conducted 100 investigations and unearthed 80 degrees or 90 fake degrees, it doesn't mean that the remaining 10, we should agree with you because you have been presenting fake degrees, that everything you put to us is gospel. We have the luxury of time to checkmate this. And I don't just come to this conversation to defend people because they are my friend. Even Martin Colley and I will grow up together. He's my friend. I'm sure his dad is my, quote unquote friend. I'm not trying to defend Isaac Padmore, but the fact of the matter is there is no law in our country that states that to be vice president for administration, you must have an academic degree. Padmore comes to the United Methodist Church. He's a Methodist prelate. He's holding an administrative position at a Methodist-owned institution. Until you Liberian people can strengthen the University of Liberia and open multiple technical colleges that is state-owned, state-funded, then you can set the standard. Read the communication from the Ministry of Education. There is no law. Even Martin referenced the Commission on Higher Education. Let Martin bring the Commission on Higher Education that say only academic degrees can be vice president. Man, you Isaac Chukwu Padmore is not the president of UMU. He's holding a vice presidential role in administration. He's not the vice president of academic affairs. So just because Martin has been doing, tremendously well, just because you have been doing credential audit, that doesn't necessarily mean that we should agree with everything you shove down our throat, Stephen. We must be careful.
So Darlington, I think you're making a good argument too. But let me just say this, and I think part of the work the CSCC is engaged with is that they are looking at the not just the academic but the ethical transgression. And one of the standards upon which we hold people in academia is the issue of professional ethics. Ethics is key, and this is why in Liberia many of our institutions have challenges because we do not place emphasis on ethics. In one instance, Dr. Padmore makes a misrepresentation of the facts, which brings into question his integrity. Now, universities and educational institutions, for that matter, are supposed to be institutions where the premium is not just placed on only on academic work, but it's also on integrity and ethics. So when you look at it through the lenses of professional ethics, one will argue first that an ethical transgression in one discipline is enough for him to be disqualified at the institution. Because I'm not looking at the academics now, I'm looking at the ethical side of it.
Right.
Because if Stephen comes to a job and presented a credential that was later reviewed to have been wrong, even though I have other credentials that will be proven facts, that one instance is enough to undermine my integrity. Because and most of the time employers don't just look for people who have the credential, they want to see whether employees have integrity, because you're dealing with universities and other places have places where you have high ethical standards. So if somebody who is at the echelon of the university as vice president for administration is engaged in something that undermines his ethical standard, it places doubt on all other things going forward. That's just my argument.
No, Stephen, let me ask you now. Let me throw it back to you. You asked a very ethical question, and it's good. Employers, so for us to judge Dr. Padmore with that rule of thumb, it means that Dr. Padmore must have submitted a resume that proves contrary to what has been advertised on his Facebook page. Your employers will not go to your Facebook page to go see why you post there, Stephen. You submit your credentials to your employer. In this case, Padmore's employer is the United Methodist University. The Padmores, they have alluded to the fact that was misrepresentation of the fact that was published on the Facebook thing. That's absolutely a misrepresentation of the facts. But morality alone does not suffice. Morality alone does not suffice to legality, Stephen. He had agreed. He never submitted his resume to the UMU to say that he has his degree in this. That first vote you're talking about, Stephen.
No, we got to take call. There's nobody can have conversation. That's why I'm trying to call you and Darlington, or you the host. You got to make it so we go to the call and take calls. But Darlington cannot argue here that what you do on your social media platform is not an extension of your resume. I mean, your social media platform, whether LinkedIn, whether Facebook, whatever, it represents you. So you can say, don't pay attention to your Facebook page. It's the same as holding your resume in your hand and giving it to somebody. You can't have different things in that resume than on your social media platform. You got different things about yourself. That's not true. That's not right. So let's take some calls. Let's take some calls.
Let's take some calls before we go. That is on Monday. You gotta find time.
No. Is it Stephen? This Monday,
come on.
And we didn't talk about it. Let me say this quickly before you go to the line.
Yeah. 1 minute quick.
Yeah, Darlington is my friend, but I think I do not want it to be like on Patmo. But you see, as a student of public sector management and public policy, I can say to you the best policy ever is honesty. The best policy is honesty. So, and the worst thing that can happen to anybody is for your degree to be questioned, for your academic degree to be questioned. It's unfortunate. As my brother Darlington is telling me that you don't need to be a medical doctor to conduct operation. Are you telling me? So you see, regardless of who is involved or who has been accused, it is important that we come with integrity in the academia. The same way the radio station looks. Or sometimes if you hear the child, sometimes I see for anybody to sit in the classroom.
Stephen, the calls are already coming in, so let's stick it to that 1 minute. We discuss the thing further on another day.
Anyway, because of time.
So Jerry, you're right, but we don't have the time. Yeah, already 3 hours, and we got callers already on the line, so we keep talking about it. If you got time, Monday said John is
Jerry, you don't need to be in the medical field to work at the hospital, Jerry. You can be in administration. Administration at the hospital, your role is to
conduct operation. Are you telling me that you have to be a medical doctor? Bro, all the fakers must be able to be weak.
Jerry, yeah, I'm muting because so got call on the line. Caller, go ahead. Let's start the call business.
Hey, gentlemen, thank you so much, Stevie. I'm actually calling because of Stevie Johnson today. He was, talking. This is Waldo anyway. I'm calling here from Massachusetts. Look, we have an elementary infatuation with degrees in Liberia. This is why everybody picks him, buys him. People do everything they can just to have them because we attribute so much credibility to the degree in that country. People will do anything. And what we've done to the society, look, a lot of times people think the degree is actually the degree that people care about. In a society that respects itself, this is why we actually pushing for the issue of degree. That's why I believe Martin College generation will give him tremendous credit. Great job he's doing. Look, you have to reach a certain level in that society so we can all function at a basic level. We expect you to be able to pull out what you claim you have done in your academic career. This is what we are passionate about degree. But everything in Liberia is about degree. If a person has a bachelor's degree, when they write their name, they'll put PhD after the name. Where's the infatuation coming from?
Yeah.
It's destroying this country.
That's right.
Thank you, guys.
That's right. Yeah, caller on the line, go ahead. So I see a lot of people doing that. Stephen, they read and they say BSc, MSc, PhD, blah, 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 blah. What's that? Go ahead.
DPCP, APRC.
I just want to say that this song, people are be careful when you put on Facebook because most of the time, you need a great statistics. And when you want to find things about you, put right on your Facebook page. Yeah, because when you put on Facebook, it's there forever. So you can just tell me our was so bad in the bureau. Those days in the bureau, when you guys for NU, you go to enter anywhere was not easy. To enter Tokmoha, it was not easy time for you to enter Tokmoha. But look at our education system. So let us start back in wrong. Let us start that bring our education system back to where it used to be. After the last of the amo. Or in last of the I will not buy wrong. I will just buy wrong.
You get a Stephen. Oh, you're from Elijah Turner.
Let us say the truth. Because our education system. Come on, guys from college, they can't even read. I don't know who guys from the city university talking about. The person was giving speech. After the person was in the third or fourth grade. Just testify, that's what we know. Our education system goes down to the drain. And we need the right people to be so the right people to start on their application. That's all I want to say.
Thank you. Paul, you can read the rest of the number on your take call.
So this evening, the numbers to 0881 959807, 0881 959807, 077047 2019, 077047 2019. And those in the diaspora, you can call us up on +1 401 688 8266. So I already have call here, and let me take this person. Call on the line, Gwivlink.
How are you?
Yes, we are okay. What's the name? Where are you calling us from tonight?
My name is Clarence Benjamin Masako from Banga tonight.
From Banga City, please go ahead, Chief.
I commend you for the show tonight, but my concern has to do with this GMB situation. Very on my mind. I want to focus on this issue from now to October. All things can discuss it. But for me, GMB business, it will take it very, very serious.
Thank you so much, Chief. We do appreciate so much. So 0881959807, 0881959807, 077047 2019, 077047 2019. Those are the numbers. Hello. Yes, sir. Live on the program. What's the name we're calling us from tonight? Please go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, I'm on the show tonight, right?
You're live on the program. You have 1 minute. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you for the program tonight. This is why GMB talk about education, agriculture as well. But let's look around our brothers, our sisters are studying with drugs on a daily basis. What become of these children in the next future generation of this nation? So this is why we need GMB to come and set up to see how the education can be upgraded so that our brother can move on in a doctor, in a class, and be well educated for the next generation. Because those are only power right now, they will not be there forever. So my priority is our nation, the next future of the nation. These are people that don't come up and take over today they are sporting. So thank you for the program. We need to stay to see how the GMB can be better. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you so much for your points this evening. And let's get this person. Hello. Call on the line, Gwivlink. For not being ready, let's get this person. Hello. Hello. Oh my word.
All right, before let me take the person question you're struggling with your call. Call on the line from the US. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. This evening, my name is Fatima Dolphin. I called from Chicago. I want to deviate a little bit. I want to talk about Prince Johnson and Ambassador Joseph Human Points. For the record, I'm a strong JMP supporter. But I want to ask, especially Tia, this question goes to you. I want to ask you this question, and if I'm wrong, I want you to correct me, please. The U.S. government said that they don't want to see anybody doing business with names that were on a sanction list, all right? And when McGill continuously engaging with the CDC, we all bash at him and everybody talk about him. But now see what's his name, see Mr. Johnson going to Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boakai to discuss, is that not contradicting? Because the U.S. government said nobody, they didn't say it wouldn't be the seditious or CNC. No, they said they don't want to see anybody doing business with anybody that is on a sanction list. And now our political leader is having meetings with Prince Johnson. So can you explain that to me, please? Thank you.
Don't leave it alone. Just remain right there.
Be answer for me whether if the U.S. if Prince Johnson went to have a meeting with the ambassador, whether they will refuse it. Yeah, answer that.
No, I'm coming. I go in right there, Stephen. So the first thing is so the people in Nima, they will vote for Prince Johnson in October to be senator. So that dealing with Prince Johnson, right?
My question is
No, I answer your question, but I will not answer it the way you want it. I come in there.
Excuse me. I asked you a question. Ask you a question. Listen, my question. You can ask you a question. Ask a question.
So you see, it doesn't work like that everywhere. So even in America, where you live, I know you're calling from America, and Donald Trump carry rebels to the Capitol. The American government official, they're not speaking to him. So here is what I want to say. No, listen now. Listen, no.
CDC yesterday, it was not okay.
No, they're not. Then maybe.
People know who they want. Whether Prince Johnson or not Prince Johnson, people will vote for who they want. If the Biden want Johnson, you might Burger minus Prince Johnson, they will vote for Johnson.
So it is also Prince Johnson. So how you be president now? So how you be president? When you president, you call speech for some of the citizens?
No.
But what you saying? You say you might have meeting with him. I mean, no call speech for him.
The American government said nobody should do business with those things like that.
So why is the business speaking the post?
Y'all stop contradicting it.
Not ready. I'm just so confused. What are you talking there? What you say? You understand yourself? Why are you confused at that? You want to take Koya?
This person dropped the line.
You say you support Joseph Boakai. You want to believe that you support Joseph Boakai? You support Joseph Boakai, but you all right for Prince Johnson to tell people to vote for Joe Weah. Or you want to tell people to vote for Cummings. You can't tell people to vote for Joseph Boakai. Then you say you support Joseph Boakai. You want to agree with you? What kind of argument is that? Sorry, man. It doesn't fit anywhere. They are that whether you Joseph Boakai supporter, you are that.
Okay, please go ahead. What's the name you're calling us from?
I'm Ibrahim Kane calling from Buchanan.
Please go ahead from Buchanan.
Okay, thank you very much. The only problem we're facing now all over the country want to know the running mate of Joseph Yuma Boakai. The running mate business already up now. It's all the time is going against us. Nothing is happening in the country. We want to know the running mate. The one running mate, the public still waiting down with it. We appeal to the public to call the running mate now. We want to know the running mate. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, we are okay. What's the name you're calling us from tonight?
My name is Denisa and I'm calling from Bangapur County.
Okay, Mr. Woman, please go ahead. Live in the program.
Yes, I want to go strictly to like you were saying about the supporter of GMB. I think we need to be very vigorous on the issue of our support to GMB should not be anybody coming around GMB that we should go and do the person.
Man, go on. Let me call on the line. Go ahead.
Thank you. That was so much. First of all, let me say happy anniversary to Senior Brother Pierre first. This is Jerry Dubley calling from Worcester. For me, what Mantle Calling is doing for our country is now a bad thing, bro. When it comes to the Methodist Church, we do things differently. So let us start from the state university that giving people fake degree day and there. Even people who say they have that or the hair of the country, they get a friendly letter. So let us start with the state university and decide to check those who have all the fake degree. At the end of the day, then we can go to the private institution and start raising issues. So thank you for the show. You guys continue the hard way. Our focus here now is GMB to rescue the country for the name as all our people. Thank you.
Call on the language.
Good afternoon to all panelists on the reloading, class reloading. I'm Christian Kaiser, by the way, calling from Dallas City. And I just wanted to invite a little bit to the President Johnson and what I did. That's what I'm going to speak on.
You got 1 minute to do that.
All right, sir. Okay. I don't know why Liberians, we are so confused. When somebody calls you or comes to have a meeting with you, I don't think you should refuse the individual. You will only refuse what is in the message that the person will be bringing to you, or accept what is in the message that the person will be bringing to you. We are not enemy. Politics is not static. It's dynamic. Politics, you need numbers to get victory. You need money. You need your action. You need numbers, the voters. So sometimes your enemy could give you more votes. Or sometimes the person who is in favor, you bring more votes. Why Liberians? Why you can't understand? So that was the question of Pierre just asked you, the lady that getting vexed down there. So do you want the Liberian people to sit and let Prince Johnson go and lobby for Jawia, so the vote that he gets, so 80% can go to Jawia?
That lady not a GMB supporter. She was only pretending. She's not GMB supporter. Thank you. Call on the language. Call on the language. Okay. You don't want to? Call on the language.
Good evening, Mr. Pia. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, and also good evening to the happy anniversary, Mr. Pia.
Thank you. Make your point.
Yeah, my name is Godwin. I come from Pennsylvania. Yeah, the discussion is very fruitful. I followed the conversation. And as it relates to the institution that Martin Collins has, he and the folks are doing very well. And they are doing very well. And
some of you got to mute. Some of you are giving sign. I got to mute.
I want to call on my point is directly going to the current Secretary General of the CDC party, who was conferred a degree or what or honor for that institution. I think minor cum laude or what. And I think it's a disservice and insult, I would say, to those who merit that honors. And I'm calling on those who merit that honor to stage a protest against the University of Liberia for honoring, for conferring such honor upon Jefferson Koji. I think that deserves that. That's my point.
Thank you. Jupo, go ahead.
So call on the line, please go ahead. What's the name you're calling us from?
Okay, my name is E. Kelly Saro, a call USA. I join you from the Telegram Battle County to be preserved Gospel community.
Please go ahead.
My point is that the first thing is that the lady who just left the land, your physician, all the time when Johnson worked with President, we are in this government, he didn't complain at all. And everything was bread and butter. It's because he goes speak to JMB to what he said. Why he get it there? Think of somebody, it doesn't mean like business with the party. All the criminals are in the government. They are talking about it. And President, we are making business with them. Okay, so my point. The time is getting closer. Our vacancy two, which is the Eureka Lawrence, our campaign are already started here. And we make sure that our JMB make sure and also as now as we speak. And today we have a rally. It's going to come to party headquarters we're going to see. And we are all ready from elected district 1 to elected district 5. They're all ready to push the country and make sure that this particular property that we are in the country, we should leave the property and have it with. Thank you for having me on the show this evening.
Thank you so much for assisting patient. We appreciate it. Hello. Hello. Please dress away from the monitor. Okay. Sorry. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You're live on the program. Please go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm not on the program yet.
Please go ahead. Stop listening to yourself in the background, please.
Oh, all right. Yeah, what I'm calling from the Canada.
Please go ahead. You're live on the program. Please go ahead. You have just 1 minute.
I really want to be our program I want to digress on the degree and stuff like that. Are you there?
Chief, you have just 1 minute. Your time is running out.
Tell
You
him to
have
stop
15
listening
seconds
to
now.
yourself. Stop listening to yourself. Listen to the phone.
All right. What will settle this country is to have a good governance. So our intention, our focus to be the election country. What do we have to offer the people? What can we do to put certain in order to serve these persons to leadership? But it's a degree, not degree, it doesn't matter for now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello. Yes, ma'am. You're live on the program. You're calling us from.
Without hearing our person before.
Getting you?
Without hearing our person. All right, let me take this call off. Call on the line, go ahead.
Yes, sometimes I'm just so very angry about what I want them on. We will get food for anywhere to win this president. I know we just did it wrong. We still just need to give it some food. That was one of the happiest things ever yesterday. I saw on social media. And then I hear ANC were all fighting Prince Johnson data. When even Prince Johnson did not support the Unity Party, there is no record of Unity Party of party and he admitted to that yesterday. Even when he did not support the Unity Party, they have good working relationship. He admitted to that for 2 years yesterday. So I don't know why we talk over him. Somehow people acting that they love Waka, they will be there. Oh, it shouldn't. You in the ballot box, you know all the people that can't vote for Joseph Waka, whether they kill or they did that. In that ballot box, we talk about why Prince Johnson between the party, the this that we will get vote for anywhere. If you're rather feeding the speech of the government, you will get vote for anywhere. And so
Thank you. Jamal, go ahead.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah. Hello, sir.
Yes, Chief. Please go ahead.
I'm Jerry Toby calling from Riverside County. Jerry Toby.
Go ahead, Mr. Toby. You're live on the program. You have just a minute.
My sister, they call that just before the other caller, they got Jerry Toby here on the same time. Well, I'm a regular of the class reloading, and I'm a full supporter of the Unity Party. I'm a little bit scared because what the woman asked, because the American government said people shouldn't make business with second officials. So for me, I would want to have to explain it to us better so we can know, because our people quick to throw something under the hair way that they will question other people's mind, they will start speaking negatively.
Okay.
And one of the things again is my little niece, our mother just died this morning. My niece is in trouble. She has Goa on her foot and she's in government hospital. At the same time, she has abortion in the hospital again. We are running from here and there. We can't find anything to get to save her life. So I'm asking the class to please help my niece. She's in the 11th grade. I passed her, but she dropped out because of the sickness.
Which hospital she at?
No other way. So I'm asking the class to please.
So which hospital she's from?
We from Brazil, my people, Daniel married that his daughter, they call
I said, which hospital? Which hospital? Is she at the Kwame Hospital in Bassa?
Yes. So seriously, I just have to make that call because I know the class is concerned because I've been listening to the class, and when other people ask for.
Oh.
All right, Cora on the line, go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael Harris. First, I want to say happy anniversary to Gerald Lumick Pia. And quickly, my input will be on Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Hold on, you are out. Go ahead, Michael.
All right, my input will be on this meeting with Senator Johnson's meeting with GMB. So I don't know whether Ambassador Boakai initiated a meeting, or even if he did, I don't see anything wrong with that. But if Senator Johnson had gone to have a meeting with GMB, people have to understand that GMB is a politician. He wants to become president. So if someone who attracts a lot of vote comes to meet the president, I don't think you should turn them away. I mean, nobody who is a politician would do that. I mean, for the issue of commonality or purpose, they both can collaborate. It does not mean that GMB has compromised his value or compromised the status of the statement we know him to be. So I don't know why. Maybe it's not going the way people want it to be, so that's why they made the kind of argument. And this will be my second point will be like, it's just a recommendation to the team, the Clash Reloaded team, that is. Well, we agree that you guys are all intellectuals in there, you know. But I would want to recommend that when it comes to especially issues how to do with educating the voters, key issues to how people should vote, and GMB message, telling GMB, I think sometimes you guys can reduce the language over there, speak to the level of our people. Like I like Mo Ali the way he did it. You're trying to disparage Roma, the CDC can hold one, we are elected for 6 years, over 2 years. He put it simple that everybody can understand. Not no disrespect to our people in the rural area, but these measures should be targeted to all voters across the country. So now you guys are take that into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul, go ahead.
Guys, let's get a few more calls so that we can wrap up.
Let's close.
Yeah, Jupiter, take 3 more so we can
close. I'll take one. Jupiter, take 3 more. I'll take one and we'll close.
Yes, ma'am. You're live in the program. What's the name you're calling us from tonight? Okay, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. You have a view with some of us president. It's not bad. It's not bad for us to people who have a parable. I say, don't see the child for reaching the college. But what the child from the college is what the child is looking. I want to use this part of language to our part of people what is going on. I say, in a predicate, they're about to hear of us. The same in the day I tell you. We are getting a prayer, we are getting a prayer, and I'm near praying. I get to there, I'm not saying, of course, no office in the home. I'm over point there. Then my second point had to do with the degree issue.
15 seconds.
Yes. We have a university like God with all the doctors, degree holder with the real degree. And yet, they say someone is sleeping at their home, still graduating with cum laude. So why should we question a private school for degree this time? When the University of Labrador Hotel is still into the same issue.
Okay, thank you.
That's a good one.
Stephen, the private schools are not operating from heaven. They're part of our country, and the country got laws.
All right, Isa.
Please go ahead.
I'm here from Banga.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, I always listen to the show. But I feel a serious problem. I need help. I need serious
So,
help.
what's the problem?
We are on hunger strike. Me and my children, I'm a single parent. We are on hunger strike. My 4-year-old son. I call on the show for any help. For the offer. Oh, yeah,
okay, you know what I mean? Take her number. Take her number, you go visit.
for school fees. So I want people to help me. I would have son you 25 he went for this.
Just take the number. So tell her you take her number and call her back.
I can't be for Joseph Parker. So that when you went and did the latest work, he did all the tests, he was successful, but later he removed his name. He said we are opposition. So we really need help. How you going to school? Then you graduate, I tell you. So I really need help, especially for when I was traveling to Casa or to Panic Casa. The little business I was doing, the useless business I was doing, a breakdown.
Wow.
And I'm a single parent. I found I live in Kansas Highway. Opposite YMCA, new YMCA.
Okay, well, Chupa will go there. You'll go facing her. Take her number.
Okay, so you are not actually far from me, and I will actually get to you hopefully tomorrow. Just on the weekend, I will get to you.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, check it. Keep her number. You'll go there. All right. So take one more call. NPR, take one.
Can I take the last person?
Yeah.
Please go ahead. You actually the last quarter for tonight from my end. What's the name?
Okay, I'm watching another from the Canon Ambassador Sunday.
From Barista.
Yes, my point is, even if Joseph Bala can't get anybody to be as running mate in the country, then he take a floor and we'll see vote for him. Because people are looking at this thing as a tool, we can get a win. And we know very well that Joseph Bala is the need of the country. We are not going to part with any people like those agents of the devil that make us to be sweating in the country, and we're sweating with blood and also going mad in the country. They are the people that are getting fed. While Joseph Baka is talking with Clint Johnson, who can talk with Clint Johnson? Talking with somebody is making business with someone. So, let Joseph Baka, if you can't get anybody within one, Kume or how to call the other man, ability, they are the agents of the devil, which we call President We Are Joe. So, thank you.
Thank you, Chief. We appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Caller on the line, go ahead.
Yes, how you doing? How are you today, sir? My name is Rebecca. I'm calling from North Dakota, Fargo. I want to tell you when I say I got two things to say. The first one is just still that president in power, the coin job. We are just go there, you go raise money, you leave all alone for now. You want money for all, you take your vote and go vote for our incoming president, Joseph M. Baka. Then we look for foundation and help you. You start with this is not making show. And my second thing is ANC people, you need to shut your mouth. Because first of all, if today and tomorrow, if you just having to choose, you will come to you, you will embrace him, you will celebrate, you will be happy for him. We don't care at this point. We need every vote to take the criminal for empower for in our country so we can be able to take our children for the America and carry them in. That's all we want. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
Let me tell Bidi and then we'll close. Bidi, you guys calling from Liberia. Bidi, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening to the panel.
You gotta be fast because you're the last caller. We're closing now, so be fast.
Okay. I want to say happy anniversary to you, Mr. Pia.
Thank you.
And thank you guys on the show there. Yeah, I just come from Amarua era tonight, and
Stephen not confirm you?
No, man, has he confirmed me yet? I don't know what wrong here. I see my name is Patrick Bidi.
What's Stephen doing to you so, man? Go ahead, Bidi.
I don't know what wrong. All right.
Hey, man,
I swear this I just can't. I just took on my shoes there.
Okay.
They got their station all way reaching there. How they call that station from sport journalists on from CDC. I know they call the gas station. I know Freedom FM.
I'm gonna go ahead and make your point. Forget about that.
Yeah. That station all way reaching there. So my PF for all to ask for all people that get this radio station in our world to help us up to at least carry our class radio
program there too, so our people can be listening, because they say only that station can reach to them, and other garden they can be listening to in the hearing. So they're appealing to those who have radio station in view of the women, so they can assist or at least to connect you up there, so those guys can be listening to you people to educating the Liberian on that side.
Okay.
One of my main points. All right. Thank you for the show.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Ali, come to your closing, man. So I mean, it's been a great show. I mean, it was very heated. We had some very passionate conversation about Liberia, about the issue of education. I mean, you know, it was a good show. Today, Friday, I mean, we had a very
Yeah, real good show. I enjoy Darlington, man.
See, you know why I'm laughing?
No.
Pierre instigated confusion to net.
I love it. I love it.
The man said Darlington has something wrapped around his neck. When Darlington was trying to pull himself out of what was wrapped around his neck, then Martin came in and compounded Darlington's problem tonight.
But in class, you know, today Pierre anniversary. Yeah, you know, 2% bad man surgery. You also bad man surgery, man, my people.
You got mean students, man.
No, Pierre,
good school, yeah. Mean student, very mean. Even a professor then all here, Darlington and all the professors here, all of them mean.
Especially my man 16 years, I did 24 years.
I know that. So mean professor there. Student mean, professor mean, everybody. What kind of class is it? You know that I'm going to go visit Spoon Talk today. Maybe I'm going to leave my car on the ball.
What the principal?
Before we leave, we got to buy PR dinner. I beg you, we got to buy PR dinner. Let the cash out number there. It's +14016888266. We got the man anniversary to the 16-year announcement time. You got to buy the man dinner. I beg you, your cash out. Let the cash out up there. Grace, the cash out up. All of you people, y'all let buy Pierre dinner. Today is his anniversary. We gotta celebrate with him. I mean, you know, the number there. So if you're watching the screen, is there. Let's celebrate our brother and his family on this day.
Thank you, Stephen. So I thought it was a very great show. I enjoyed the debate between Martin and Darlington and what's the other guy named Plato or something on the
Plato.
A Plateau. I hope we can get
them back. I don't know the whole family well. She don't call him me quick a Plateau.
No, I call it Neil.
I hope we can get them back on Monday. So the academic thing is a very, very serious problem. They call us even somebody get BSc when they're calling their name. I'm BSc who I'm BSc Mo Ali. I'm Master Mo Ali. It's only in Liberia people want to boast around, and most time I don't know what is the result of that, but it is like I think it comes with self-esteem. When me and Ibrahim Nyei together and I say that, my man, don't call me that, man. You know, most of the people who are really into the academic thing, they don't want to show off. I see Samuel Akoya, Samuel got his PhD from a renowned university in the UK, University of East Anglia. So is what he did. Yeah, I don't think Pierre will be passing around and he will get hanging on his neck, master degree from Harvard, Pierre, Jeremy Pierre. Most of the data degree thing that you see here, let me close on this. Some of them can be fake. I know the issue with someone Pega. He did something on UF campus that angered the soup picking them, and they put noise behind. They say, in fact, the PhD you got, you don't have it. As a matter of fact, the picking them were a dog behind him. Someone Pega never had PhD. So it happened that he entered the PhD program. And you know, when they're in the PhD program, that the law students, they will start calling each other counsel. So someone Pega, when they call him for investigation, he said, you know, they were in a PhD program, he never graduated. They see skin that they got from Sino passing around with Milton Tiaje. The scenes came, oh, I went, I completed, but I didn't have the money to pay, so they never gave me my degree. Up to this time now, you've been senator for almost 9 years. You are superintendent for 6 years or so.
You're
You
deputy
still
minister.
get that money to pay so they can give you your degree. You know? So he said he never graduated, but they were there and they were calling each other dad. I had a dad name left on him. The fakeness got to stop in this country. And I want to say thank you to Martin Colley and his team. Everybody that we get little doubt on, we will send your name to Martin and the man will deep behind you, will put it on Facebook. No more room for fake degrees in the place. You go sit down in one corner, they give you honorary doctorate degree, then you be passing around with it. You follow Jowiana, doctor. Follow the other person, doctor. The water talk when they were living and they will be getting first level. Even in their grave, they getting first. Thank you.
Thank you, Wally. Jerry?
Yeah, thank you. It was a wonderful show, and happy anniversary again to veteran Jeremy Pierre and the rest of the people. But you see, fakeness is in all aspects of our society. We need to try our best. Thanks to Martin and the rest of the folks. There are a lot of people. These are just maybe 5 or 6% of people we are hearing about. It is very important that we try our best. If a friend is in a situation, the best thing to do is to advise your friend, say, bro, what you are doing is wrong. I'm grateful to God that at least during the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf time, when I was working with the MCSS, because of, teachers' qualification and all of that, George Warner, other people had, this man, William Allen, they had this scandal that could detect fake white certificate. I don't know. Where is that today? I've not heard about that for a long time. That somebody will have different, 2 high schools. You get a white certificate from this high school, then you get a diploma from this high school. It was the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf time, people detected that because we were in the educational system. So we decided to, we knew that. So the fakeness in our system, we need to stop that. Sometimes even if you apply to some other institutions, you know that people with bachelor degree are still teaching bachelor degree in our country at Berea University. And today, Liberia, you cannot boast of any school that can compete even in the MRU or West Africa to say best university ranking. I was privileged. I was taught by the current Minister of Education of South Korea. I was taught human capital development. I know what it means when it comes to tracking down these things. It is better. All of the countries around the world that can boast of human capital, they are serious countries that are progressing today. Until we can address these little things that matter, we will not make progress. We need to start. That's why when I listen to some of, the flimsy stuff from the Commission on Higher Education, I was a little bit baffled. These things are in the law. When in Liberia, you can find somebody who is president of a university who didn't get PhD, or a minister of education, somebody who regulating, you say a university should be able to get a president with PhD. Then you say, no, the minister of education should not have PhD. Only in your Liberia, according to my Bama family, that the family's word. In your Liberia. It is about time that we start. That's why I appreciate Martin Colley for all that he's continued to do. Is very important that we have. And let me close on this note. The issue that have to do with our elections, we need to pay key attention. The latest process, every process that 7 days things can last for. All of our analysis, as always said it here, if we do not pay attention to these issues, fellow Liberians, we will suffer. I just sitting imagining every day. Sometimes I wake up midnight, I say, what? Just imagine if we are another 6 years. Can you imagine what's going to happen to our country? So if we do not, as an opposition or the opposition community, to sit down and look at this issue and start to attack them, we're going to experience serious difficulties. So we must learn how to attack the real issues. Stop attacking JMB. JMB is not an issue. The issue now is fake Pastor W, fake Pastor Wia, who said that and telling people they should not mind us. After he mismanaged our country for 5-6 years going, I think it's important that we make sure that we address the real issues. And issues leading to elections are very key. Thanks to Stephen and the rest of the force for always keeping this show moving. Some of us is not an easy task, to wake up 5 a.m. and join you. And, sometime during the week, maybe Monday, I'll try to be on the show because it's an interesting, kind of stuff. Because academic issue is a very, very serious matter. I'm grateful to God that I attended one of the best schools, Gimpa. And then, of course, the procedure KDI school. So, I mean, it's better, worst of all cases, any young man, anything you want to look for. If for somebody to question your lay paper, even when you get it from Pelican, let it be correct. You're supposed to be a student, but go to the right process. You're not supposed to be the best, but the process that leads you to being trusted is very important. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm always available. And I think I'll try to do it twice a week, beginning next week. Maybe Monday I'll be around.
Thank you. Darlington. Good. Thank you, Darlington.
Thank you, Stephen. Let me begin on this note by saying to our many listening, audience, that I'm one person who is highly opinionative, and when I have the facts, especially about a particular issue, no matter how much query or latches I get from across the room, especially when I have the facts, I defend that to my intellectual depth. And if the United Methodist University come out here and inform the public that Padmore degree is fake and that he don't meet the minimum requirement at any university, I will come back here and offer an apology. But I don't just dance to Martin Colley work. We have all commended Brother Colley work, especially with some of the things he's doing. But that doesn't make it exempt from criticism and for people to ask critical questions when they believe that Martin do not have thoughts on a particular subject matter issue, especially, questioning whether somebody with a doctorate in ministry can be vice president for administration at a Christian-owned university. The UMU does not operate, with how Martin Colley feel on who should be and who shouldn't be. There are also in the books that UMU operate in the country. What specifically does the Commission on Higher Education say about who can be vice president for administration? What specifically does the Ministry of Education say about who can occupy a certain position? So, I would not fall for that, for people to come and, it's okay, we can all make fun. I've been one person who, if you've been following my page, I don't just get up and just defend people. But if I believe that Martin is proceeding wrongly, he's a brother. I've known Martin way more. I have no brother. Padmore. Yes, Padmore is my friend.
I will share with you the 2011 Education Reform Law. I will share with you, or you can Google it. You'll see all of the requirements from university to elementary.
Since you have read it, Jared, you have been in the MCC, the MCS.
Yeah, man, we're not starting new show. We're not starting new show yet.
You have read it. Can you please tell me specifically what clause in the law?
Monday y'all read all those clauses. Y'all come back with the clauses.
So when you send it to me,
I will share with you. I will share with you. Don't worry.
Please.
I will share with you.
Jared, let me call me cousin Jared.
You're breaking Darlington. I don't know.
These debates are very engaging and it's very healthy. Yeah, these debates are very healthy. I think the conversation will get more healthier as we unearth fake degrees. I do believe that there are people parading our academic corridors who don't merit those degrees. Should they be brought under the microscope? Yes. people personally connected to me. I've been brought on in Microsoft. I just don't come in and defend them, but when I have the facts, when somebody lie on somebody, especially when they have the facts, it's important, very much imperative that you counter the lies with facts.
Thank you.
So just to close up, I would like to say, Big Brother PR, happy anniversary. I mean, 16 long years is not easy. I mean, many young brothers like us will probably take classes from you on how to keep it going. Thank you very much for keeping the family tight. I have a very soft spot for men who hold their family together, because it's one of the very beginning qualities of leadership. Men who have managed to keep his family tight, and you've been one of those, Big Brother. You know how we iron our thing, and on a strategic note, you and I will talk and and we'll lay some issues to rest. Thank you, Big Brother.
Thank you, Dalito. Pia, by the way, people saying something? You muted.
I said, let me see something. I didn't check anything, but let me see. Oh yeah, a couple of questions. I don't see the name, but I see up to $220. So that's
wow.
That's not bad. Thank you. Yes, but there are too many tricks around, Stevie, and all of us should pay attention to those tricks. You see the sister who called her, she was angry about Joseph Boakai and Prince Johnson, and she said people are not sincere. Can any of you bet your neck that person is actually a JMB supporter? I don't think so. I think she's out of sedition or an ANC person who's angry. Then she asked the question, why you're dealing with. So let's assume Prince Johnson does not support Joseph Boakai. He goes to the election, he gets elected. Boakai is president. Will Boakai choose who in the Senate or the House of Representatives he might deal with and who he might not deal with? Just by virtue of the fact that those people are government officials and they're in the first branch of government. You can't deprive them of interacting with them. If Magdalene win election, they'll try with them. They become senator. Boakai win election as president. You got to deal with them. So I don't know what that lady was saying, what she was understanding herself. If the Americans don't deal with people, how is that related to Joseph Boakai telling the boy, Prince Johnson telling the boy, Nima say you're for Joseph Boakai? Or Boakai, she said, no, Prince Johnson, don't tell your people to vote for him because your vote dirty. Your vote sick, your vote get blood. And you angry, you claim you support Joseph Boakai and you got problem with the current regime, you want them out. But look at how you were shouting on the phone. It's either you're not a Joseph Boakai person, or you're associated with some of the tendencies that even though you're associated with Joseph Boakai about going for his neck or having a meeting with Prince Johnson. We should not have space for these things because some of us, and you call from the US, some of us, you're away from the country. They help the people living in your own feeling. So you don't see that urgency to change the status quo. You don't see it. But it has to be changed. If I were in my house catch fire, and still using my neighbor, and I say that bad neighbor, and he comes shouting the house is on fire, I would say because of my bad neighbor calling, so I'll remain there to burn. You got to come to yourself. If Prince Johnson would tell the people of Nimba County to vote for Joseph Boakai, he's welcome. We'll not say no to him. If Prince Johnson called Joseph Boakai and say, I want to come and see you, he's a Liberian citizen, he's a senator. Joseph Boakai will not be like Joe, we got to be cutting speech from people. Joseph Boakai will got to talk to everybody, including those he disagree with. And I said something from the beginning of the show, which I think she and many other people didn't listen to. Prince Johnson been a senator in 2005. 2005, Prince Johnson was on the Unity Party ticket at our primary in Nimba County. We chose a candidate over him. That's how he went independent. Our candidate, he beat our candidate, Yellow Macri. Since then, he been a senator. Ellen then tried and made amends with him, so 2011, he came and fully supported her. What did they do to Ellen? I don't know how the chance to be re-elected. Then 2017, openly he saw everybody. Where were you people? Stephen, you were deputy spokesman. Didn't Joseph Boakai visit Prince Johnson during the runoff election?
Yeah.
We saw all the pictures. Joseph Boakai visited him. We have visited him. All of a sudden, he made a decision and we are in a plane and went to see TB Joshua. So why Prince Johnson going to Joseph Boakai house now? It's strange to let a lady who was dressed like that she didn't see him, that she didn't see Boakai himself walking to Prince Johnson in 2017. I think the one Prince Johnson went to Boakai in 2017. I watched a video. I still have the clip. Joseph Boakai drove to Prince Johnson Church to go talk to Prince Johnson. Where were you? The same thing you did 2017 and the man lost the election and we have this hell on top of the country. You don't start the same thing again. Because you don't understand what they call election. Prince Johnson is on record now. So you bring a war crime court. We the one for the war. We the one did this. I read about war crime court. So the message you bring war crime court. So you still say you want to vote because war crime business or because of America? They will not distract us. We know your tricks. They will come pretend to you're Joseph Boakai people. They will not distract us. It is Joseph Boakai's call to make. You got to make it. But the country must be rescued. And it requires all hands on deck. And I'm not saying Prince Johnson, I say he's supporting Joseph Boakai. But if you get vexed, you have a common visit. I know what you'll do when he finally declared to say, as supporting Boakai. Maybe people will be committing suicide all over the place. Okay. You prefer him not to go anywhere near the people who won't remove Joe, but you prefer him to go by the Weah, right? And then you're serious that you want to remove Weah. You just start joking. And Stephen, I'm hearing that other show there, I'm hearing that some of the panelists have started leaving. I'm told even if Freedom Board left by the instruction of Weah and Twe. Is that true?
I don't watch it. I know.
Yeah, I'm told they are fast collapsing. And I want to believe it because I saw Baron Brown, who sits on the show, he did a long post today talking about how they are not picking who can be reporting for them. Something you said, I know you said the boy used to be what? Sending money in Calabar or doing something. No training in journalism, and bam, he's a big journalist. So for me to have seen Baron on the same show with the person attacking the person that I rang a bell, but I was just seeing something in a chat room talking about panelists are walking away, panelists are having special conversation with people and all that kind of stuff. But this was long expected because you, the main host for this show, if you are on an indictment, of course, if you expect people to come here, Jeremy Pia would not be one of them. I would not say, yeah, why you honor your indictment? I would stay away until your indictment. Yeah, and then finally on this, Dualo made a good point. I think we should pay attention. When we had a problem with Taylor and went to exile, I spent that 3 years in Nigeria. I learned something about that society. That society, Stephen, is more interested in what you can do than your degree. It's good. They got a whole lot of universities. They want people to go to get all the degrees. But they don't treat you and recognize who you are and give you respect for who you are on account of your degree. They do so on account of what you're able to do. Because they too realize that a lot of people pass around with degrees that they can't represent. And that's the weakness in our society. We so freak up about degrees. Everybody want to say, oh, I got masters, I got PhD, I got this. And that's why heading to all the fake degree thing, because rather than paying attention to what we can do, we're paying attention on the degree. If you get all the degree and get your job and your performance is a disaster, so hell with your degree, no matter what school is from. Pay attention to what you can put out. And Dualo was right. Dualo was very right. Because bulk of us pass around with degrees that we can't represent. And of why use a degree when we can't represent it. Oh, yeah, I see somebody confirming. They say, what? Kev, Ben, Dr. P. Bolly, and Tomalin George left the show. Oh, wow. Okay, Stephen, so I ended there.
All right, okay, Pia, thanks. And I'd like to say a big thank you to all of our panelists, Ali, Pia, Darlington, Jerry, Pastor Mo, and of
And
course,
thanks to all of those who Stephen sugar us small and y'all send some beer money. At least we got money to drink some.
yeah, thanks to everybody who
Yeah,
added
thank you.
Pia.
Yeah.
And also, who else? Daniel Sando. Also, thanks to Plato, Padmo, and Martin Colley for calling in. Hopefully, we'll get there on Monday to have that conversation. It's been a great show, and you know, and to the lady who called, when the Americans say doing business, they don't mean that you can have meeting with a person, you can sit down to talk to them. Doing business mean where in this case where Prince Johnson was sanctioned for paying to play. Doing business means it's where you now want to engage Prince Johnson in
the same pay to play, right?
Yeah, in the same
Exactly.
pay to play.
Exactly.
So you call Prince Johnson, you say, I want you to support me, let 100,000 for you to trade it for Neymar for that's pay to play. So you can't do that kind of business with Prince Johnson. But for Prince Johnson, you will vote. No American law can stop him. Prince Johnson can tell people legitimately without any financial inducement, you have to vote for Joseph Boakai. Nobody is not doing business. Doing business means when you engage Prince Johnson in the same act of trying to buy his vote, then you're doing business. But to just say Prince Johnson sit down with you on a table, have a meeting, or Prince Johnson decides to endorse you without any financial inducement or promise whatsoever, that's not doing business. Because Prince Johnson as a Liberian has the right to vote, he has the right to participate in politics, he has the right to support whosoever candidate he chooses. But anybody who will transact with Prince Johnson financially to use money to induce him to support them, that is doing business. So I just hope it provides the clarity. So we'd like to say big thanks to all of our radio stations. That's Bourgeois Radio FM 98.1 in Monserrado, Premium FM 98.1 in Bon County, Radio Dupa FM 89.1 in Grand Bassa, Voice of Lofa FM 99.3 in Vonjema, Radio Joy Africa FM 97.5, and of course, Voice of Compa 106.5 all the way there in Compa City, Nima Campbell. It's been a great show. Let's say thanks to you all.
Where is Dupont? Did he get that? Because somebody already waiting to send that lady the first $50, but I gotta get it. Send way information. So
you get it for her.
Yeah, let Dupont send it to me. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so guys, it's been a great show. Ali, thanks to you, thanks to Darlington and everybody, Pia and everybody. Enjoy the rest of the evening. And let me say thanks and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. God bless you all. Bye-bye.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta whip us more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us, they betray us so much. They lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not know. I said we tired with their lies, we tired with their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to beat? You see, we just tell you that's why we voted you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us, they betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us. Rescue mission. the right, left to the front, left to the back, jump on the feet, jump on the feet, yo, 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 yo. Rescue number one, yo, yo, yo. Yo, 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 yo.
The people keep on crying. It's not fair. And we going out some, all the people.